You are listening to the Hello Sport Podcast.
Can I tell you something? I'm just going to start off with something interesting.
Yep.
Because I thought it just came into my brain and I just wanted to look it up, and then now that I know it, I want to tell you it.
Okay.
I thought to myself, what is the distance at like a scale we can understand between an atom and an electron? Right?
Okay, yeah.
This is how far away they are at scale. If the atom was the size of a basketball, the electron would be 2 miles away.
If the atom was the size of a basketball.
The electron, which orbits the atom, would be 2 miles away.
That's the difference in size.
That's how far away it is. Don't you find that interesting?
That's how far away it is within the cell or whatever.
At scale, yeah.
At scale. Is it a cell, or is it just that an atom is circled by an
Just
electron?
down there. Like you know how there's the big and then there's the real, there's a lot going on.
No, there's heaps going on in. You could muse if you were that way inclined.
Did you find that interesting?
No, I found it interesting. It's fucking insane. I mean, that's why I'm continuing the conversation.
Cool. I just wanted to check.
No, well, I mean, if I didn't find it interesting,
You'd bail on it.
Well, I'd treat you the way you used to treat me when I talk about my children.
Bullshit. I've always been a huge fan of them.
I'm not saying you've been a fan of them, but you used to reject me.
We used to whinge a lot.
It would be me being like, hey,
the only
this dad thing, and then you'd be like, rant, and you'd be like, well, you go, good for you, mate. And I'd be
the
like,
only
you're a
whinging
fucking
was
dog.
that you used to be sick a lot.
No,
good day, and you fucking fix yourself right up. Not a coincidence.
Do you ever wonder whether we are a universe for an infinitesimally small species?
Yes, I do. Like they're living in a giant's eye thing.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
And that's all we are. We're just, we like to gamble. We like to drink. We like to watch rugby league. But that's all going on inside the toenail of a giant.
That's right. The reality is this, Tom, and this is the reality that you need to try and find some peace with in your own way, at your own time, punters and dribblers. And that is this. We have absolutely no fucking idea what's going on.
So when anyone tries to tell you how the markets are going to behave...
Well, you can slightly model consumer sentiment.
Yeah, don't.
But what I'm saying...
No one knows anything.
Well...
Don't.
No one knows. You're right. No one does.
No one knows anything.
Death and Dax. Is that the most used line in all of fucking language?
Taxi!
Only 2 certainties in life, mate, and they usually add a third. It's like you
death, taxes, and your wife being angry at you for coming home late. We are going to speak to Brent Reid again because the last time he was on, and maybe we can get his thoughts on the meaning of the universe, but we just needed to get a bit more clarity around what the fuck's happening with Daly Cherry Evans. We've had our piece, said our piece, we've had our moment, we've had our podcast. We're off the darts again, but good to know you can have many without a fire alarm. But I would just like to ask a couple of questions, get his thoughts on a couple of things. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
I'd just like to do that now.
No. Oh, you want to do it? You want to do it?
Well, he's available now.
Oh, we'll do it now then.
And then we can always come back and we can manipulate time and space and have it sit somewhere else in the show.
No, 100%. 100%. I didn't know he was only available right now.
Well, he just said he was ready to go when
Cool.
we are. So,
let's do it.
Tobler,
Yeah.
can you get Brent Reid on the phone for us?
I'd love to.
You'd love to.
I like having Reedy on the show.
Yeah, I like having Reid on the show.
Yeah,
Everyone's
same.
getting
I like.
journos now. Do you hear that?
Yeah, I know. I heard that.
Sweet.
We got him?
Yeah, what's doing, lads?
Reedy. Thank you very much for coming back again, mate. How are you?
I'm good, boys. How are you?
Not doing great.
Mate.
You'd be in mourning, right? You'd be in mourning.
Yeah, we are.
Where was that scoop on Monday, mate?
I know. I wish I had it, sadly. Looked like you'd locked away a deal with 9, didn't it?
Yeah. Do you think that that's how something like that is organised? The release of that's fully orchestrated. You're going to be on a 360, all that sort of stuff.
That's not how it's normally done, because normally the club's told before he appears on television. I suppose he just confirmed what he told them in December, right? So he sort of came clean on that. But I think the way it happened, Manly were blindsided. I don't think Manly didn't know it was coming. And I know Nine have sort of said since that it was a prearranged interview. He was always scheduled to be on there, but I mean the timing's sort of funny, isn't it? It's very coincidental.
Was everyone losing it on 360 when when they called through to Fox Lee?
No, not really, because we sort of knew something was coming, so we were ready for it, right? So, we were ready for the rundown to change at some point. We just didn't know when it was going to happen, and we got a whisper before we went on air that it was DCE that was involved. So we sort of knew what was coming. We didn't know everything, but we knew that something related to DCE was on the way.
And
so no, we weren't. I wouldn't say it was panic mode, panic stations, but we were certainly ready to change course pretty quickly if we had to, and obviously we had to.
But as a journo, that's when it's like you go into full journo mode. This is like what you're in the game for, right? Big news breaking on the blower, calling everyone. Fucking, what's the score?
Yeah, but you prefer if you're the one breaking it rather than being. We got done on that one. I mean, we got Dylan Brown the week before, so it's 1-1, I guess.
Yeah.
But,
1-1.
Yeah, they got us on that one. So yeah,
I love when you're watching both shows. Neither show wants to say the name of the other show. It's like on another program on.
I know.
Mate, it is
but I mean, we're lucky because we obviously had on air. Tony Mestrov let fly that the club had offered him a 2-year deal, so around the 1.5 million mark. So we were lucky as a result of what they had and what we knew was coming. We were able to get Manly's immediate response to that. And then Daly later on 100% Footy said, first thing I heard about was the offer was on NRL 360. So we got ourselves some publicity out of it, which was a good result.
It was good. When you hear, man, like I didn't hear many journos at the press conference of Mestrov yesterday. Like it felt like it would have been something where every journo would be at and he'd be getting peppered with some harder questions. Is that a reasonable take? Were there many people there?
Well, I didn't go. I wasn't there because Dean Ritchie went for us, so I didn't bother going because I thought, why? It's no use two of us being there. I think there was a fair few there, but some journos tend to dominate the interviews, right? So. I think there were probably more there than you think because there was a handful of journos who dominate those sort of occasions. So I think that's why maybe there was a perception from your end that there weren't as many there as you would expect.
Do you think that there would? What's your take on like the way he handled that press conference and like the questions he was asked? I don't necessarily. Yeah, like I don't know. I don't necessarily even have an opinion here. I guess. Eddie and I, when we watched it, just sort of came away feeling a little bit like unsatisfied generally with the answers.
Well, I reckon. Look, the first casualty of war is always the truth, right? And it feels to me like they're saying everything's hospitable and there's no animosity, but as an outsider looking in, and I don't know this, right? I've heard whispers like everyone has. But I've had no confirmation of this. But as an outsider looking in, there seems to be animosity there.
Yeah.
Like Daly doesn't do what Daly does unless there's some form of angst going on. So I think when maybe both sides are trying to look like the worst thing for Manly is to say there's an internal war going on because they're in the middle. They're 3 games into a season. They're a team that if everyone stays fit, right, they're in the mix. They can win a premiership. So you don't want to disrupt that by having all this dirty linen there in public. But my sense is that there's more going. I mean, I watched the Daly interview and I felt like Daly was keeping things to himself. Right? He didn't look to me. He didn't look overly comfortable, and sometimes that's because he doesn't want to lay all his cards on the table because he knows that would be disruptive to the club and it'd be disruptive, and he wants to retain the moral high ground and be the bigger man in this situation. And I think Manly are in the same boat, right? So when that happens, I reckon you walk away with a sense of there's more to this story than meets the eye.
Yep. That's 100%. That's 100% how I felt. I felt that on both sides of the fence.
It kind of feels. It almost feels like intellectually dishonest, or like it feels like you're kind of taking the piss when you're telling people that it's all good. But it's clearly not.
But Reedy makes a good point because they're putting the season first. That's what's happening. So both sides are doing it.
Can you imagine the worst thing they can do is have Daly going, "Well, I'm off this joint. I'm off the blokes who run it," and then you have the club going, stuff this bloke. He's just gone and embarrassed us on national television.
Yeah.
What would that do to their premiership campaign?
Yeah.
It would completely derail it.
Yeah.
So, I think in order to protect the club, both sides have given their version of events, but it's a little bit sanitised, right, as opposed to probably what is really going on behind the scenes.
A lot. Well, I would say a lot sanitised.
Completely
but I think
sanitised.
if we lost 7 straight games off the back of wearing a jersey that no one wanted to wear, you can understand that if this blew up, we'd lose every fucking game.
Yes.
Yeah. But it did. It leaves everyone a little, all of us and the public and everyone else who's sort of out on the outside looking in, a little bit dissatisfied with what we're hearing.
Does the story go away? Is this one that's just going to linger like a fart in the air all year?
Or a boil?
Well, of course it will, because he hasn't. Well, this is the thing. Daly gets on and Daly says, "I want to give Manly clear air and I want to end all the noise." Doesn't end the noise because he hasn't got a club. So we're all going to be hypothesising, and everyone's saying, "Oh, it's like Cooper Cronk and the Roosters, and the Bulldogs are in for him," and we're all going to guess where he's going, and try to take a stab at where he might end up. And while ever he has no future resolved, it will linger. That's just the way it is.
Gus Gould was looking at him on that panel like a teenager who's just seen tits for the first time. It was
it's a kid who's found his dad's Playboy.
he was looking at him and he was smiling at him. He was telling him how great it was that he's come out and how refreshed it was. I was like, "Shut up, Phil. Stay away from our halfback."
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they ever go at him. I think before they probably look at him, they'll want to know that they're not doing it for no reason, right? Because like a lot of people, they probably suspect something's already done, right? So until they won't jump in until they think there's a genuine chance that they're a chance. Because if you look at their team, right, I mean, Toby Sexton's doing a great job, but Daly's clearly a better player than Toby Sexton. And they've got a young kid in the system named Mitch Woods, who's the next big thing, right? So Daly is the one thing people will tell you at Manly is Daly's a great mentor. They've got Joey Walsh here and on Tony Large. He's a great mentor to those kids. So you imagine Daly, if he goes to the Bulldogs, he's got Mitch Woods coming through. Everyone will tell you is a superstar in waiting. I mean, he can learn beside Daly Cherry Evans for 2 years. That's a great outcome for the Bulldogs. And it makes them, like, they're a contender now, but you stick Daly Cherry Evans in the number 7 jersey, well, they're a genuine threat.
Is that have you got any whispers on who's your favourite, do you think, to get him?
Well, I'm like everyone else, Rob. We all suspect, the Roosters are the favourites for him, but I mean, I don't know if we're all jumping at shadows a bit. I don't think anyone knows. The only bloke who knows is Daly, and probably his agent Joe Weeby, the football whisperer.
Yeah, so, I've got a feeling that Trent Robinson's fired up that fucking pizza oven. That's what I think.
You think he's fired?
I think he's fired that fucker up over the summer break. And
French wine.
I reckon he's French wine. We wined on and 69'd him. Yeah. I reckon that's what's happened. Sorry. He spoke like a man that had stitched up a deal the other night. That's my opinion. I could be wrong.
The only problem with Robbo speaking French to Daly, it'd go right over his head. It wouldn't work. So.
Oh, gee. Listen. Oh, you see, he's good because he's a Queenslander. He's got no culture.
Well, Reedy's a Queenslander.
Oh, how dare you. What's doing?
That's what I'm saying.
Is his manager the football whisperer, the guy who said he'd cut off his finger or whatever if Queensland lose? Is that?
No, that's the coach whisperer.
That's the coach whisperer. I was going to say.
That's the snake oil salesman.
Mate, I was like, if the snake oil guy is DCE's manager, I'm packing it in.
There's two whisperers. There's the coach whisperer, which is Bradley Stubbs, win, 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 done, done, done.
Yes.
And there's the football whisperer, who was Joe Weeby, who used to work alongside Isaac Moses, and a lot of players swear by him. He's a bit of a mentor.
Okay.
James Tedesco and people like that,
Right.
But he intriguingly manages James Tedesco, his company does, manages Reece Robson, who we all know where Reece Robson's going next year, the Roosters.
Right. These bloody managers, eh?
How do you become a whisperer? Do you know?
Yeah, have you any insight there?
I've got no insight into how you become a whisperer.
I wouldn't mind becoming a whisperer.
Seems like a bit of fun.
It sounds like a very lucrative way to make a living.
Yeah, seriously. Just call yourself one as well. Yeah, I'm sure you don't have to earn the title. Just start calling yourself one.
You two are the podcast whisperers. What do you want about?
You know what? That's your words, not ours, but we'll certainly put it in our LinkedIn bio. One thing just before we let you go, just around it doesn't feel like Cherry's done anything wrong. I don't know. Like, we like him. It's hard to sort of to fully know, but there is also, we were sort of discussing before, like, his 2 last contract negotiations have both been fucking disastrous, just in terms of like the media, like the way they've been handled, or at least like the way optically they can be viewed from the outside. Like, is there any element where I guess there's some like culpability on his side where like because you see a lot of big name players just get contracts done. There's maybe speculation, but like they just get done. They both just feel like fucking back-to-back bin fires.
Yeah. Well, I think it's easy to blame one side for this. I think everyone's got to share a bit of blame for it, right? The way it's played out. I don't think it's easy to say it's Manly's fault, but I think that in a situation like this, both sides got to take a little bit of blame for it. I'm disappointed now. I'm not as we spoke now. I'm a Broncos man, right? But I grew up supporting Manly, and I live in the Northern Beaches. I saw Daly at the Ringa Mall about 2 weeks ago with his wife eating lunch in the food court. He's part of the community. I hate the idea of him leaving. I mean, I love the idea of Daly finishing his career there. And there's a job for him there after footy. They've told him already there's a coaching job for him now. Does that vanish in midair now? I would suspect it does. So, I mean, it's disappointing. As a Manly, well, not as I said. As a
you keep wanting to say Manly fan, Reedy. I know.
I almost said it.
As a Manly my Broncos, you can just be honest with yourself.
Just be honest.
Don't you think it's disappointing? You blokes, the Manly boys.
Mate, we're devastated, honestly, which seems like an extreme position to hold as 2 35-year-olds with children, but devastated.
Yeah. Mate, it's been a pretty ordinary 18 months. Like, it just seemed like things have just snowballed.
Well, from Jersey Saga all
the way through Schuster, letting go of the Farnu brothers and then Humphreys. Like, it just feels like we're losing control a little bit.
Des going, or not even Des going, the way it all went down. Like, it just feels like we've sort of, the team's been able to hold it together, but we've rolled from one shit show to another.
It's just bin fire to bin fire.
They're in a window now, right? And it now actually gives them a lot of money. Like, Daly going potentially frees up $700,000-$800,000 to go and get someone.
What do you reckon, Lewis Dodd?
Well, the issue is going to be there's not really a lot of really good halves coming off the market at the end of this season. It's the year after. There's a lot of good halves who hit the market in 12 months' time. So you've got to hope they don't do new deals by November 1. Then you can dip in the market for them. I mean, Lachlan Galvin's a guy who ended the last year of his deal on November 1. Jerome Hughes, the list goes on. So, they've just got to sit back, keep their powder dry, and maybe they might have to go through next year with, I don't know, Tommy at 6 or Leo Opawani at 6.
Listen, if we win the comp this year, I don't give a shit about any of that.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
And look, Daly might change his mind. I mean, he has got form.
Yeah, I know, but like, fuck,
don't rule out a backflip.
A double backflip? You rarely see a double.
No.
That's Simone Biles-like area, isn't it?
Exactly.
I like that.
Oh, dear. All right, Reedy, thanks a lot,
mate.
We appreciate you coming on twice this week. Brent Reid, Day Telegraph. What's the potty with Triple M called again?
Footy Talk.
Footy Talk, boys. Tuesdays.
Yep.
Fucking oath.
Thanks, Reedy.
NRL 360
and NRL 360.
On a Monday. The big spot.
Telegraph.
And the Daily Telegraph.
Boys every day.
And the Hello Sport podcast. Mate, you're everywhere.
Doing my best.
Thanks, Reedy.
Thanks, bro.
Cheers.
Bye.
Tell you who I'm a huge fan of, Edward.
Brent Reid.
Style of a bloke.
Well, you always go on about style of a bloke. He's got style and grace.
He's good fun. He's good fun, Reedy. He's good fun. Listen, I don't know if I learned anything new. I did need to talk to someone with authority.
Well,
maybe help reframe the way I'm feeling.
Well, I think he cleared up a couple of things that are important for us to remember. Point one is, outside of what is basically in the media, no one else really knows what's going on except a handful of people. It is obvious that there is animosity, but they are both playing we love each other cards because they want this season to be a success.
Well, I tell you what it is. It's staying together for the kids.
That's exactly right. Mum and dad hate each other. They haven't
Yeah.
rooted in 4 years, but we're doing it for the kids when they're 18.
Yeah.
Mum's got her eye on that fucking Latino dance instructor who she was introduced to with a friend of a friend.
Yeah.
She's been taking like tango lessons and she wants to get humped.
Well, she's been taking tango lessons and then getting pounded in the coat room.
Yeah.
But she comes home
But
to
she's
a
going to
loveless marriage every
She's
night.
going to make that official.
Yes.
When the kids are 18 and
They're out of the
kid
house.
goes in Kentucky.
Yeah.
And she can finally get rid of her fucking loser husband who.
Well, not lose a husband. They might be both good people, but they both realise that they've just grown apart.
Well, in this situation, I think maybe he's just.
I'm saying I think these are two very
Okay.
These are wonderful parents.
We'll play that way?
Well, Daly and Manly.
True. That's a good point.
Who's the
I
loser
forgot
here?
what we're doing there. Forgot what we're doing.
Who's the loser?
Great people.
Great people.
Who just want to hump and be humped respectively.
Listen,
On their own.
the divorce rate is what the divorce rate
Well,
is.
in climbing, Tom.
I thought it was coming down.
Well, who knows? Depends who you ask.
I am not, they stay together for the kids.
No,
and
but you know what we're
maybe
staying
you
together?
you squeeze out one more happy year of marriage. We win a comp.
Mate,
So maybe they fuck one more time.
All we need to do this year is win a comp.
That's it.
That's all that needs to happen. If we win a comp this year,
It'll be one of the most famous comp wins of all.
if we win a comp this year, I don't give a fuck if it's a 5-year rebuild. To be honest, like I would be.
No, of course
I
not.
would be.
No, no.
I'd be like, sweet,
You take a 5-year rebuild
Whatever.
for a premiership.
whatever.
You take a 10-year rebuild. Let's be real. Don't want one.
No, but I'm just like, I'm.
No,
I'm-
but there is going to be a rebuild when at the end of this year. That's what you're saying.
There's going to be one.
Yeah.
But I'm going to stomach it
For a prem.
for a premiership.
Can I say one of
I
the-
also don't think, by the way,
Yeah.
while we're being frank,
Yep. And Frank.
you've heard of him? Her?
Yep.
I'm thinking of another Frank.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That Frank.
Yeah, great Frank.
Yeah, no, good
Shout
Frank.
out to Frank.
Yep.
I am so unconvinced it hurts on the rescue dog and Turbo as a halves pairing.
Dude, no, I don't.
I can't tell you how unconvinced
No,
I am.
and we were talking about this with the ungrateful Cody Totes. And by ungrateful, I mean he comes in here and he talks shit about the club. That's all I mean by ungrateful. As a friend and employee, I'm
He's terrific.
He's terrific, and I'm heartened to have him in my presence. But as a human being and a rugby league fan, he's an ungrateful little cunt. And we were discussing in the green room about how if you have a Manly side where you put Lehigh to fullback, Luke to 7, and
Turbo
Tommy
to
to
6.
6, all positions except maybe 6 get worse. In that Tommy's still, I wouldn't shock me if Tommy's a better 6 than Luke Brooks, right? But
But it
Luke
wouldn't,
Brooks,
but it wouldn't
our
shock,
7,
but it wouldn't shock me if he wasn't that good at it.
Listen, it wouldn't shock me if it doesn't work,
Yeah.
but I don't know. But what I'm saying is your fullback position gets worse. Your halfback position gets worse.
Yeah.
Your 5'8" position might get worse, or it might be
Or-
the same, or it might be like fucking...
It might net even.
yes.
So you're down 2 positions.
Down 2 positions for this thing to work.
Like, what are we talking
I'd
about?
honestly prefer to have a fucking 20-year-old Joey Walsh just in at 7. Keep Brooks at 6.
Mate, if
Fuck it. Fuck it.
if this kid's as good as they're all saying, then fucking throw him in. Brad Fittler was captain of the state at that age.
You know
wasn't he?
what, dude? You know what rugby league is, guys? It's a simple game. Just tell Joey Walsh, kick to the corners, complete your sets.
That's all you need to do. It's not razzle dazzle. Kick to the corners, complete your sets.
High percentage rugby league.
That's all you need to do. I'd be throwing the fucker in.
Fuck it.
Swear to God.
Fuck it, dude.
Fuck it.
Keep
Seriously.
Tommy at fullback. Just keep Tommy at fullback.
Why wouldn't you?
It's probably going to help him to have a big thoroughbred running around outside and sweeping out the back of plays. Tommy can go in a 5'8", first receiver, whatever, if he wants.
Mate,
Don't
20-year-old,
make him the fucking
20-year-old
5'8".
halves, that's not uncharted territory.
Of course, it's not Cleary was in there. Mitchell Pearce was in there.
Brad
Galvin's
Fittler.
2 years old, mate. Everyone's like, Galvin. Galvin's not even got pubic
How
hair
old's
yet.
Humphreys?
Humphreys probably like 22, 23, I don't know. But fucking,
Look him up.
I'd be shocked if he had pubes.
Not that, he's young, put it that way. 20, 22, whatever.
What is
23.
he, 23?
20, 23, whatever.
You don't have muscularity like that if you're 20, if you're 19. You know what I mean? You don't. You just
20,
don't.
23, whatever.
But it's the same sort of shit,
That's
right?
what I'm saying, lad. It's the same sort of thing, bruh.
It's the same shit, lad.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Again, when was Brad Fittler coach of the state?
Captain. Maybe of the country. Or was it the state?
I keep saying
it
coach.
was 20.
I mean captain.
Michael Hooper captained the Wallabies when he was 20 years old, didn't he?
Guess who was heavyweight champion of the world at 20?
Mike Tyson.
There you go.
So don't give me this shit. Joey Walsh ain't going to be ready.
What are we talking about? Heavyweight champ of the world?
The
20?
kid from Curl.
Mate,
Joey
you can
Walsh.
do shit at 20.
Fuck
Let's
off,
get
mate.
real. Let's get real.
Mate, 19, you're bloody at war at 18. Kids are playing league when they're 17. Shut the fuck up.
Joey Walsh captained the Australian under-18s when he was playing for Union.
So what are we talking about?
The kid's ready to go. He better get some fucking game time this year. His first game at Jersey Flag, which is what, under 20s? Do your own research. I never remember those.
Well, Curly Beale, he was captain of the fucking schoolboys and then went on. He debuted for the Tars at what,
Debuted
19?
for Tars 17, 18.
There you go.
Yeah, hold on. Joey Walsh scored 3 tries in his flag debut playing upper grade. So there you go.
How old was
Under 21s, he's 19. 3 tries on debut.
Mate, if you go through the Queensland side, heaps of players are under 23.
How old's the Hammer right now? 21? Suck
How
me off.
old's Reece Walsh?
Suck me off.
Hammer's 23,
How old's Reece Walsh?
22.
Right, so suck me off.
Suck me off then, dude. We're good.
Suck me off.
We do not need Brooks in at 7.
No, we
Suck
don't. No.
me off.
Oi, listen. Bin that whole plan. Bin it.
Bin it.
Bin that plan.
Ball that plan up into a ball.
Put Joey Walsh, right? Get DCE to pull his pocket out, go all teabag on this thing,
Yeah.
and have Joey Walsh follow that fucker around for the
Billet him. Stay at his house.
billet him. Then he's with the DCE for the next season, this season, not next season, this season, and then he's ready next year. Done. Problem solved. That was easy.
Suck me off with that other
Suck
shit.
me off with that shit.
Yeah.
That's the easiest option. So easy.
Yeah.
God, that's just. But see, that's how you use your brain.
Yeah, it is. That's how you coach a rugby league side. That's how you build a roster. That's how you build a premiership winning roster. And don't panic. That's how you don't panic and make dumb decisions.
I tell you
Cody,
what,
could you get more tequila, please? We're on a heater.
we're heating up. Also, I want to say something, and don't shoot me. I'm just trying to be a bit real here. Turbo does get injured from time to time, so we need Lehigh to be able to fill in at the back or play wing. He can play in the centres at a pinch. Like, let's just chill out. We need versatility.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
We need versatility.
Tilate.
So, keep it the way it is. Walsh to 7, Lehigh wing / sub in when there's injuries. Problem solved.
I tell you what, I am wondering where Tommy Talau fits into this whole thing. Is that the last of the tequila, Cody?
No, there's a Fortizella in there from Ned
yours?
Brockman. No, Ned Brockman gave us one.
Did he?
Dude, he's all class.
When does he keep giving us tequila?
At the fucking...
We drank that one up there. Yeah, we drank that one.
Did. Oh, no, someone else got us a Fortizella.
Oh,
Who
it was
that?
Holy Moly.
Holy moly. Shout out to them.
Shout out to them. Do you want...
Oh, yeah.
Bring it over. Well, I know. Hold up. No, leave it there.
Leave it there. Leave it there. Leave it
Leave it there.
Leave it there. Mate, I took mine home because it was a present.
No, I thought it was a present,
Yeah.
and you should have taken it home.
And I did.
Perfect.
Perfect. Where were we?
We were on a heater. We were solving the Manly Seagulls problems. You come through, Wiremu. You all right, buddy? Are you a bit hot over there, are you, mate? Try solving Manly's issues and see how sweaty you get.
Mate, great fucking point.
I will say that our reaction yesterday, to our credit, was raw and emotional and unbridled, and that's how we are. And I don't think we said anything incorrect, but it was certainly raw, emotional, and unbridled. And whilst Brent, and that's what the benefit of speaking to someone, a man like Brent Reid is, and a man he is it also helps you see through your own emotion. And whilst we were probably more angry at the club yesterday, blame lies across both parties. And the best line Brent Reid said, one that I think, we maybe have mounted somewhere, but in a war, Eddie,
Truth's the first casualty.
the first casualty is the truth.
I loved that line.
Yeah.
It was terrific. There's another line worth remembering, and I'm going to butcher it, but the essence is there. If we don't let go of our anger, we're just going to have to fucking drag it along with us.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely not the saying, but I know what you mean.
So,
You'll find it, though, won't you, Todd, about anger and letting it go, and it'll weigh.
or it might be
you down.
stress and be getting weighed down, But, so the way I look at it now is it's all our focus turns to winning a comp this year,
Best outcomes.
right? And then glazing Joey Walsh till he gets that 7 jersey, and then off again we go.
You mean the kid from Curl, Joey Walsh?
Lives around the corner.
He's a
Schoolboys-
fucking local.
He goes to school across the road from Brookie Oval.
Went to school, I hope. not still goes to school. He is 19. That would
Yeah,
that
went
would
to
infer
school,
that he has
sorry.
repeated a couple
He
of
went to
times.
that school right across.
Yeah, dude.
What are we talking about?
St. Augustine's.
He's ready.
He's ready now.
He's ready now. He's ready. He'll be more ready after DCE whips the bloody pocket out
Yeah.
for him.
Teabag
style.
Prison Break.
Prison Break.
Check it out.
Oi,
Seen it.
just if you haven't watched Prison Break, you're a loser.
Yep.
But if you haven't watched Prison Break, you should. And if you have watched Prison Break, watch it again. Season 1 is superb.
Yeah. What's up, punters and dribblers? The episode this week is brought to you by our good friends at Four Pines. Now, listen up. Got an exciting bit of news for you. We are having a race day on April 19th, the all-age stakes at Randwick. We've got a marquee. We're trackside in the members. And we're having a good old yip and a yahoo. It's Four Pines. It's Hello Sport. It's the Dribblers Day Out. Tickets are live now. Show notes, bio, everywhere you find tickets. The tickets include food and booze all day and also a good time, a rip and a tear with your friends, Tom and Eddie. Now, Eddie's not here. He's had to go away and be a DILF, so he can't back up what I'm saying. But trust me when I say this, it's a day not to be missed. We don't do these days very often, and when we do, they pump, and they're a fucking good time. So you get the boys together, you get the girls together, and let's make a day of it. Bit on in rugby league. Despite the fact it doesn't feel like it, there is a bit on in rugby league.
Who said that? Oh, so first cab off the rank, Rugby League.
Okay.
We will be doing a live stream this Sunday at 4 p.m.
Yes,
for the
not
Manly.
tonight.
No, I'll tell you why we've moved it. We need to live stream the first game back.
Yes, it's lots going on around
There's a lot
Manly at the moment.
going on, and it's an old foe.
Yeah.
Fibro, what is it? Fibros versus
Silvertails.
Silvertails.
We did want to go to the game, but we unfortunately were not able to make that work given our young families, and we can get away if it's a stream. Does that make sense?
It does. It's hard.
Streety's also possibly joining us, the Parramatta fan.
Exactly. And it's just going to be better content if we stream this Sunday. That's just the nuts and bolts.
Yep.
Again, it's been a big week and we need to cover it in its entirety.
Yes.
Which means carrying this bits through to Sunday.
That's right, which I still foresee a big win. We may even see...
Well, we've got
I don't want to... because I would also like to see if we get Streety and our other friend is a Parramatta fan who I don't want to say his name on the podcast, and then if he doesn't say yes, then he looks...
Oh,
bad.
yeah.
But I feel
Are you
like...
talking about
Yeah.
the man?
The man.
Yeah, okay.
May as well.
May as well.
Just see.
See.
Put it out there. Toe in the water stuff.
Oh.
Otherwise, it will be you, I, and Street, or you and I. And if it's just you and me, baby, I'm fucking just as ready for that because that's going to be an emotional roller coaster and I am going to gamble on it, which I'll do anyway, but I just, me old mate.
Also, if you don't watch About Even, switch the fuck on. I've got one of the great bets on this Sunday, so go follow it.
I would like to say that I basically had the same bet, which I like. What was good about that was your narrative for that bet was simply superb. What I liked was that you and I just were in the same headspace.
Dude, when I saw your bet, it fucking turned me on so much because that was my existing narrative anyway. And I'm like, see?
Yeah.
See?
This is what it is.
See?
And so we were basically identical. And then I went, you know what? I'm just going with, we need to be rowing in the same direction on the exact same boat. This is a two-man skull.
If it's not the most copied bet in all history, then I'm not here.
Yeah. So keep an eye on that. Ned's profiles and that. You can follow along. About Even. Number one betting show in the country by a country mile. Hindy said on Jimmy Graham's podcast, Buy Round, heard of it? Of course you have. He wants Parramatta to fuck Dylan Brown off now. I kind of get it. Season's over. You've brought Dylan Walker over. I'd put Dylan Walker in at 5'8" when Mitchell Moses comes back. Fuck Dylan Brown off. Why not?
Do you think that they get worse without him?
Yeah, probably, but not much.
So why get rid of him? When you don't have to.
Listen, maybe you can find the clip where Hindy says it. It might be on like the Buy Round Instagram or something.
But he's a salty old eel who is like pissed off.
Yeah, but I'm also like...
Does it actually make sense in terms of your season performance? Because in my opinion, if things could go bad and they could get a spoon.
Oh no,
and I think you need all hands on deck to avoid that.
Maybe you're right. I think that this was off the back of the weekend's game where, hold on, let's get it up here. Let's hear it. Hold on.
What did you make of the Eels' performance?
It looked better, but that first try, was it Saluka Fafita?
Yeah, that was bad.
What were they? But that's been them. I know we're 3 rounds in, but that's been them. Williams, Hopgood. Hopgood was on the ground.
Yeah, it's in the caption.
Whinging to the ref for something that happened to play the ball, and then by the time he stops looking at the referee, Saluka Fafita's already almost crossing the line, and Williams missed him cold.
Yeah, that's the worst try.
In that tight space where you feel as safe as houses, where you should feel like as a defender, like no one gets through there. No one gets through there.
Lomax said it. He was the best player on the field by a country mile.
But probably Brown though, Dylan Brown. We spoke the other week about possibly is it better just to move him on. I'm getting to that point now where that makes sense.
Yeah,
that does make sense. That like he's not offering much at the Eels.
He just looks lost and
and I've never had to be in that position before where there's been that much. I've never felt that pressure before playing.
Yeah,
it was easy for me just to do my job. Cart the ball up, tackle someone. Cart the ball up, tackle someone. Where he's got to organise the whole shit show that is there at the moment.
And people will point to the fact that look, it was in an experienced spine of Lussick, Yongi, Hawkins, and Brown, but it's not like, hey, look at what he's getting paid next. This is the value on him in the future. Yeah. He's on a good wicket
now
at Para now. Where it's like you kind of need to be showing us a little bit more.
I'd like to. I want to see more from him.
Yeah.
I want to see, and the pressure's come even more so now that he's obviously signed with the Knights for that huge deal. But I think regardless, anyway, the pressure would have been there without the huge price tag for next year at the Knights.
I honestly feel watching him, he looks like he's scared to fail and scared to make a mistake.
You've nothing to lose now.
Well, Nathan Cleary, who's the best half in the game, he makes mistakes. He missed the kick against the Roosters, hit the post. Reece Walsh makes mistakes. He's not afraid to make errors.
Yeah.
Like he'll get criticised for them.
Kind of, but then he'll come back the next week
or
he'll do it the next
moments
set.
of brilliance. You know, he set up one of the tries, Reece
40-20.
Yeah, 40-20. He's not afraid to try things. Where I feel Dylan Brown, has really gone into his shell because he's shitting himself about making a mistake.
That could come from years ago of being under certain players around him, which didn't allow him to be
free.
Yeah. So I think there was a few players there that weren't allowing him to be as free as he wanted to be.
Who would that be? Gutho? That's it. That's pause out there.
Who would
Firstly,
that be?
like that pod with Jimmy Graham and Hindy, I also think it's worth calling out here, Eddie, on our show, that James Graham has kept it together post-career. Still got the pulsating veins in the biceps. Very, very fit, good style of a bloke. Where you could, Highmarsh tried a few years ago and he's looking all right himself, but Jimmy Graham just still fucking stacked.
It seems like we're entering the era where leagueies post-career look after themselves.
They don't blow out.
Well, I defer to our great mate Braithen Astor, who's
fucking more rootable now than he ever has been.
More rootable now than almost ever.
Yep.
Rennie Matua, looking terrific.
Scope. Listen, that's not a shot. I think Scope looks all right.
He looks okay.
He was never jacked.
He looks pretty good.
He
hasn't lost it.
But as a footballer, he was never fucking stacked, as in ripped. Now he's just a fit, hot media guy.
Yeah. Tell you who else hasn't lost it? Willie Mason.
Big Willie, Uncle Wirramoo.
Uncle Wirramoo.
He hasn't lost a fucking...
Fuck no.
What about Willie Tonga?
Oh,
listen,
thank you.
I'll take whatever he's on, but it's fucking...
But Willie Tonga looks better now than he ever has.
No, he does. He looks great. I see that's but on what Hindy's saying there, Dylan Brown going he's not offering much.
But again, back to my point, it could be a case of all hands on deck to try and avoid a spoon.
Maybe, but if you get Mitchell Moses come back, Dylan Walker comes in, maybe the side just
What would be the point of letting him go though?
Because he's not playing well, and he's going to be going anyway. So maybe you just start working on whatever's next.
True. Yeah. I can see both sides.
Oh, for sure, and it's an emotional reaction.
But I genuinely think that he's got 13 million. That's 1.3 a year.
So insane.
It's a lot of money, but he's a good player, mate. And
he has it in him.
I'm sort of about winning. Trying to win fucking games.
Yeah, but they're not
footy.
winning with him.
Yeah, but it's only been fucking 2-3 rounds.
Yeah, sure. I'm not
It's a
saying
bit early for that.
It might. It's an emotional response to say, let's get rid of him now.
It's a bit early.
Yeah.
It's like people saying lay fucking Penrith to win the comp. I'm like, bit early.
Bit early. Are you prepared to sit here on your own podcast and admit that I've been skeptical of Dylan Brown for a while and people didn't believe me?
Mate, I give you your flowers all the time.
People didn't believe me.
I give you your flowers.
I'm just saying.
You did one. I give you your flowers. You 100% have been saying that for a long time.
Yeah.
You think you said he was overrated. You used to say it about Nathan Cleary when he was.
Well, when we both said about Nathan when he was, so don't try and muddy the waters.
No, but no, I would agree with you, but it was your take.
The Nathan Cleary.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're trying to now absolve yourself of.
No, I'm saying that I'm giving you credit.
Wow.
I said I agreed with you.
Listen, Dylan Brown. I stand by my Nathan Cleary take. I think everyone does because there was a period there where he was overrated.
And I would still
He's
say
now maybe the greatest of all time,
but not in Origin.
except in Origin. But
Because
Dylan Brown
seems
again.
insistent on missing a series.
Well,
that's just an aside.
That was unnecessary, dude. He hasn't fucking missed anything yet this year.
I'm talking about the last couple of years.
Fucking round 3, dude.
Talking about the last couple of years.
Get off his fucking back, dude. Whoa. But Dylan Brown, I think it's fair to say. Again, I hope he becomes a $13 million man, but I was and have been for a while being like, really? Not a bad player, like can play rugby. He's a first grader. I'm not here saying get him back into resis.
I would say this, Tom, if you'll allow your old mate. I'm sometimes surprised by big deals for sixes when the 7 is way more important. In the sense of like he's a sixes 6. He's an old school 6. He's a running 6. He's not a fucking control the game 7.
He's not organising half.
They're not interchangeable. He doesn't have the skill set of a quote unquote 7. He's on a lot of money for a 6 when you still need a 7.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like the only 6 that I'd fucking give a shitload of money to is Cameron Munster.
And Luke Brooks, but I hear you.
And Jerome Luai, who has at the moment proven that he can play 7.
Luai has the ability to play 7.
That's
what I mean. Like that's the difference. Whereas every time Mr. Brown has been given that opportunity, he hasn't thrived. But I don't mind Dylan Walker as a signing for the Eels. Compassionate grounds.
Yeah, that's just happened in the last couple of days.
Literally today.
Today. Compassionate grounds. See you later, Aotearoa.
Yeah.
Effective immediately until the end of next year.
Okay.
He can't.
I've always had a lot of time for Dylan Walker.
Well, he's a friend of the show, friend of the club.
I think he's a fucking terrific player.
But also as a signing.
Well, he's a great 14, Tom.
14, but he can play 5'8". He was a former Australian centre, New South Wales. I think he played centre or 5'8". He can play on the wing. Like
do a job in the back row.
Mate, back rower, he can go anywhere.
Hooker?
I think he can, if you needed him to.
Yeah.
If you needed him to. Or he could start at fucking 5'8".
Bit of lock.
He could start at 6 and you got Mitchy Mose.
Yeah. If Dylan Brown was to go.
Yeah. Deal for deal.
A deal for deal. Interesting. He'd be getting on now, Dylan Walker, wouldn't he?
30.
So not bad.
Not that
okay.
old, no.
He's not as old as I thought. Whilst Tom was off dropping the kids off.
Yep. At the pool.
The pool.
That's colloquial for taking a dump.
Correct. Doing a Tommy.
As my dad would call
That's
it.
right. I was on the Instagrams doing a scroll. I come across a video put up by a bloke in a bar. Heard of him talking to old mate Justin Horro. Scope. Heard of him. Also good mates with Cherry Evans. That's just contextual information. It's contextual information. Denon and Scope getting into what his future might look like, and Scope drops this bomb that we'll discuss once you hear it.
Put your analyst's head on.
Okay.
Just purely analysing the situation. Where should he go?
I would think he's pretty settled here in Sydney. Who knows, what he's thinking with the Queensland and a shift with the family. I know the girls are pretty settled over there on the Northern Beaches. So if you're looking at it, I think at this point of the career, and this might sound crazy to people and think I'm just sticking up for him, I don't think money's an issue. Like money's, in terms of a priority list, third or fourth.
Yep.
Because no matter what, he's going to get good money anyway.
Yeah.
And no matter what, he's earned good money over his career.
Yeah.
And the beauty of Ches too, he's got no vices. Like he's, done really well with his money. He's been detailed. He's had good people around him. So money will be good regardless of who he goes. I think it's going to be, if he does end up leaving, I think he's going to want to go to a contender. And just knowing him and the development and how much he loves footy, I think coaching's going to be really important as well. A couple of the teams that haven't been tossed up and a real dark horse. Like if you want to tick all the boxes, good coach in a premiership window. Panthers, like
at 6,
like Jack Cole hasn't locked down that spot, and Blaise Talangi is unproven, and they've got some money left after Jerome Luai, and the other one, and because I think being in this position, he wants to win at the back end. So
very Golden State Warriors vibes.
Let me just say one thing.
Yeah.
This is just me being like an analyst. And like haven't had a chat to him, but I've just like everyone else, I've been intrigued.
Yeah.
And I've been throwing out scenarios in my head, and I just come up I was like,
I love scope for
that
this
wouldn't
shit.
surprise me.
I tell you what, DCE signs with Panthers. We end the season immediately because we may as well just give them the premiership trophy. We say, boys, have half a year off, come back, and next year we start again. Because if he went to Penrith Panthers next year, holy moly.
And then just monitoring the situation, what's happening at your Broncos, Kempy. Like
with Renault and
what's
that.
happening with Reynolds. And I know he's got a good relationship with Ben Hunt. So if he was to go to Queensland, people have talked about the Titans for obvious reasons.
Yep.
And the Dolphins because they've clearly got a need. But yeah, it's a wait and see, and he doesn't look like he's in a rush to make a decision as well. So he could be waiting for dominoes to play out as well. So there's a couple of real smokies to get the people fired up. Roosters and Bulldogs ticks both of those boxes.
Right, let's fuck that off.
I think firstly, like he's got to be the most sought after 36-year-old in the history of rugby league. I don't know that any 36-year-old who's off contract turning 37 next year.
But he's playing so well.
I know that. I'm just saying, to be that old and to have this many fucking clubs wanting to jump on that dick.
I think times they are a-changing a little bit, Tom.
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan said that. Heard of him?
Yeah.
Like, Scope says it there. Doesn't have vices, not a massive party boy as he's entered his dill for years.
Yeah.
Like, he's been taking a lot of care. He's been taking great care of his body. We saw that after we went to the RLPO Golf Day last year. Yeah, that's a bit of a flex, whatever. Like,
the
only non-players that were there, not a big deal. Not about me. I won the fucking Golf Day close to the pin. Not a big deal. Not about us. But he's fastidious in his approach to health and to looking after his body. So I think players are going to get older and older. And I think, like, in 10 years, 15, 20 years' time, 36 isn't that crazy.
No, it's not.
Especially when you're playing top 3 half-back performances in the comp.
I would like to say a couple of things here. Firstly,
But Scopes fucks me off with that because it makes too much sense.
Justin Horro is maybe my favourite rugby league analyst in the game. I love Scope. I obviously love Scope.
For me, it's Matty, Cooper, and Scope.
The reason I like Scope is because
that's the top 3.
you just Scope clearly he's got that, like, I'm trying to work out where he's got that, like, gambler's mentality where he thinks about, like, it's almost like he's crafting a bet there where it's like I'm thinking about, like, all different. Where's the value? What are all these different scenarios? Everyone's talking Roosters, everyone's talking Bulldogs.
But he goes Roosters, too short price, Bulldogs, too short. What's
going to bring me some value?
Oh, where's the Mahuna bet?
Yeah.
Where's the Mahuna in this thing? A reasonably realistic option, and when he explains it the way he does, you go, fuck, that makes a lot of sense. Who are at value?
Yeah.
Tell me that doesn't make sense.
And it's not just like it's not just like some of the talking heads, and I'm not talking about a good friend Brent Reed or any. I'm talking about just like sometimes on like an NRL 360 or 100% footy, you will hear, or just even modern journalism, you'll hear the outlandish statement for clicks. You know, the headline for headline's sake. That was like he showed his working. He showed me why I'm going to gamble with Scope Bet. You know what I mean?
Show me your working.
Yeah.
Tell me that wasn't convincing.
No. But also, can I say, I hate every other I hate Cherry Evans leaving. I hate everything.
Don't go to the Roosters.
But there's a part of me on some fucked up, sadomasochistic BDSM, whip myself, put burning wax on my ball sack sort of sense, where I like it. I like Cherry Evans going to Penrith and just fucking dominating even more. I don't know what it is.
If he went to Penrith, they'd be the shortest price favourites to start a season in the history of professional sport.
I think it's because
they'd be paying $1.50.
I think it's because I'd like to see
what they do.
I'd like to see it.
They'd be unbeatable.
I'd like to see.
They wouldn't lose a game.
Fucking Cleary and Ches, old dog, young goat, fucking Isaiah Yo, Dylan Edwards, the ghost, now a boy out the back. Like, I'd like to see it.
Fucking oath I would. Like, from that, and this is from a rugby league, a fan of the game's perspective. He obviously wins a comp with us at the end of the year. We've been over that. But I'd rather see him there. I genuinely think that if we take Scope's points on face value, that his girls are settled on the beaches, so he probably doesn't want to leave Sydney. I completely understand. I'm not sure how old his kids are, but like, I think that's important to any father.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Uprooting your family is not ideal, right?
You can ask me about that if you want, because I got a kid in school.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Don't want to move.
Well, there you go. Perfect.
Except I'm looking to move.
Okay. Right. Great. But you're not about to move to Brisbane. You're moving suburbs, bro.
I'd never move to Brisbane.
You're moving suburbs.
Hey, listen, unless I was getting paid Big Bicky, I'm never moving to Brisbane.
Right. So, okay. So you moving suburbs doesn't really count.
Well, it counts a little bit.
Okay.
Because I've got to, have to change schools and that.
Right. Okay. Not nothing. The Roosters, there's a lot of people that think that even with DCE they couldn't win a comp. I don't understand that logic, but whatever. The Dogs, I
don't mind the Dogs. I'd like them. I think that they're
But
all...
if he wants to win comps in his last 2 years, you go to Penrith.
I think the Broncos, although I think the Broncos are now. I don't know what the Reynolds shit is of the Broncos.
But the Bronco thing, I'm ruling out with a rubber because
he doesn't want to move the family. No, I know, but I'm also like with the Broncos thing. I'm like, what's the Broncos shit? Why are we? Hunt's fucking old as shit. Reynolds is old as shit.
They're all pretty similar in age.
They're all fucking old. What are we talking about getting Cherry Evans in there for? Like, I don't know. Reynolds has won as many comps as fucking DCE. He's been in many grand finals. Like, I think Reynolds is a fucking fantastic 7. I don't get why you would be talking like that. I don't think...
Well, when's Reynolds signed to?
But it doesn't matter. I'd be keeping Reynolds.
Well, unless he wants to retire.
Of course. But the way it talks isn't that Reynolds wants to retire. It's that they're like, oh, well, fuck.
I think the Broncos thing was brought up because Kempy was sitting next to him. I don't think that the Broncos is realistic at all.
Reynolds last year's this year.
Huh?
But Reynolds is contracted for this year, but hasn't signed anything for next.
There's some old dogs coming up.
And him and
that
Hunt
shows the dearth in the comp. And these old dogs are so wanted.
Like it was like we were saying.
But again,
they're playing good footy. It's like the tennis, though.
But they're playing good footy.
Him and Hunt are both 34.
Yeah, but it's like the tennis when you have Federer, Nadal, Djokovic.
But Joker's still winning.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is they're still winning. Like these halves are still winning. But what it does is it creates this. What it is, if I could equate it, Edward, to a forest canopy.
Yes, please.
And I hope I can.
I encourage it.
So if we were to look at the more senior rugby league halves in the NRL competition as the canopy of rugby league, same, and side by side, I'm also talking about Federer and Nadal, Djokovic, as the canopy for world tennis.
Yep.
What happens beneath the canopy? Do you know what happens? A lot of
things
rot.
die.
Things rot. They can't get sunlight. They just churn and burn. They rot and they get absorbed back into the earth, and then things grow again, and then they rot.
It's a great analogy.
Until you have a Nathan Cleary who shoots up above the canopy, right? And so we don't have that in tennis. We just waited that basically the canopy died, and there was some space for some other trees to come through. You're sinners who are obviously cheating, but you get it.
But definitely,
he's a canopy guy now, but he's a cheater.
Well, he got there via. He didn't use
fertilizer.
No, he used fertilizer.
Yeah.
He didn't use natural soil.
No, exactly. He was fertilized. But in rugby league sense, our canopy is so thick with old growth trees that they're outside of Nathan Cleary, who is anomalous in and of himself. There's not really much fucking else going on. So Adam Reynolds is still a fucking top-tier halfback. He's a better halfback than 99% of, and that's probably a bad percentage use there, but like than most halves.
The thing that's interesting about it as well, Tom, to further your analogy around churn and burn of what's beneath the canopy, is that because players are taking their performance more seriously, and because halves get better with age, they're all old now.
Yes.
Because they've looked after themselves to the point where they can play longer, and if you are actually fit at that age, you're fucking way better than anyone else.
Yeah.
Like they say, when they said that halves started to see the game better at 27, that was when you finished at 30.
Yeah.
But if you finished at 37, you start to see this. You insane what you see at 35.
Yeah. Or if just that your ability, like your time in the game, and say you start when you're 20. Whatever. By the time you're 27, 28, 29, you have played enough rugby league football to see everything that's coming at you. You are Neo in the Matrix. Whether the improvement from 27 to 37 is exponentially different, I don't know that it is. It might be.
It'd be slower, but
what I mean is the improvement would be there. It may not be the same as from 20 to 27,
but it's there.
But you're able to maintain that level.
You
deep into a fucking 30s.
Mate. If you pay for another 10 years, your understanding of the game grows.
Yes.
There's just no way it doesn't.
Your ability to absorb pressure.
100%.
You've seen it all.
You get better
You've
as a
done
player.
it all.
You get better. You might not, like on the whole, your ability to manage a game, your ability to manage an outcome would get better. Maybe not as flashy, maybe not as devil may care, but
you've just
seen
seen
shit.
enough, dude.
And that's what we're seeing with these with these old halves now, is that they're all still ready to play rugby league.
Which is why I just don't think the Reynolds thing makes sense to me, unless he wants to retire as you sow.
But his body, unlike Cherry's, is being questionable. Cherry's fucking
20 games,
rarely
20
injured.
20 games. And some of them have been for Origin. Most of them have been for Origin or some shit.
There you go. So there you go.
But I mean, holy fuck, dude. If he went to Penrith, shout out to Justin Horrow once more. The gambling man.
I tell you what, it just gets you talking for hours, this shit. I could talk about this till the cows come home.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know when they're due, but I could do it.
The cows?
Yeah.
When do they come home? Or do they not? Is that the thing? Once the cow's gone, they're fucking gone.
Well, they'd come home to get milked.
But that's not on them. I don't know that they want to get milk.
No, I think they do.
Have we had this discussion about cow's milk? What sort of headspace you got to be in to start sucking on that shit?
On an udder?
Yeah.
Well,
what sort of headspace you need to be in to be like, wow, they seem to enjoy it?
I reckon you would want to get milked. Like if I can insert.
Well, no, yeah.
Like
listen,
if you're not a dad and you haven't been around breastfeeding, I'm gonna enlighten you. If the breast isn't released, the milk from the breast, it becomes hard and painful.
Yeah.
And that's what I think. Sometimes these cows just want to get that milk out, baby.
Sure. What I'm trying to understand is, at what point does a human being go, fuck that calf looks like it's enjoying itself?
Do you know that I believe Toddler's going to look this up for me. The only species in the animal kingdom that drinks the milk of other animals are humans.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. Like that's what I'm saying. The whole thing's fucking a little bit twisted. There's a bestiality.
It's not a little bit twisted. It's super twisted.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are the only species.
And I wonder how far from the milk we drink now it actually is. How far from milk from the titty of a cow or an udder in the old is the milk that's in me dairy farmers at home?
Well, they pasteurise it.
And homogenise it, I believe is the term.
Pasteurised and homogenised. Unpasteurised, unhomogenised milk, I think you can buy.
No, you can. My mum used to get it, and you used to have big chunks of shit in it.
Yeah, it was
off-putting a little bit.
Yeah. But that's a texture thing that I've never got my head around.
Yeah. No, it's tough. It's tough. I've actually, just so that we can, because we're obviously sharing right now, I'm not really a big milk guy anymore.
I still like milk.
I still like it, but I don't really consume it in any.
Well,
couple of ice cubes, please, Cody Totes.
Mate, I completely agree with you. Once upon a time, I was a glass of milk guy. You know, I was pouring it on my cereal. I was pouring it into my Milo. I don't have Milo anymore because there's a lot of sugar in it. And when you get to our age, punters and dribblers, and the metabolism slows down, you can't just be pounding sugar at every turn.
Dude, you know, coconut water is marketed as this like,
depends which one you get.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, which one do you get? Because there aren't many on the market that aren't fucking filled with sugar. If you just drank a legit coconut, all good. Coconut water, just because it sounds nice.
So what I'm saying is, if you get like these, if you get organic, natural coconut water, it's got less sugar in it because it's not added.
Yeah, but I'm saying the ones like I don't want to go and put a brand on blast here. Cocoa Bella.
Yeah, see, that's.
But it's marketed as this natural. Look at this shit, and you look at it.
That's the mother of fucking coconut waters.
Dude, I'm just using that as one example. There are fucking plenty because I like coconuts. As in when you go to the place and they whop open a coconut for you and you get to sucking. But you then see the coconut water, it's like, oh yeah. You're like, bro, this thing is absolute fucking toilet.
Thanks, mate. No, I'm with you.
Sugar City.
Oh, mate, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, in Cocoa Bella, there's 42 grams of sugar per litre.
42 grams per
Yeah,
litre.
bro.
Not
Yeah.
great.
You should really have to advertise that in like bold letters not in this tiny little fucking hard to read shit. Punters and Dribblers, quick reminder. 19th of April, tickets are on sale right now for the Hello Sport Times 4 Pints Dribblers Day Out, Randwick. 19th April, as I may have already said. Schweppes All Age Stakes. We've got we're in the members. We've got a marquee trackside. Tickets include food and booze all day, and we're out there, we're ripping and we're punting and we're punting and we're ripping.
Like, what more do you want? You've got a glorious autumn day. You've got Saturday that is padded by Friday and Sunday and Monday public holidays.
It's a long weekend, so you can get up to no good.
We're all in our bogan fineries. You're wearing a Punters and Dribblers fedora. You're trackside in the members pavilion, punting with your fucking mates and with dribblers and with Tom and Eddie, your mates. You've got a fashions on the field where the winners get glorious prizes. It's essentially what we've created for you as the greatest day of all time.
Yeah, and also what we really want to do.
Yeah,
That's
basically a day for Tom and I. So if you want to come along, then you fucking should.
We'd love to have you there.
Tickets in the bio of our Instagram. Tickets in the show notes. Get around it.
You and I think maybe it came up on Monday, but it was one of the ways that I knew that you'd entered your dad realm in terms of just like the amount of time you have on weekends to like engage in content and shit.
I was hoping we'd get to this.
Eddie sent this to me. I chose not to send it to Eddie because I know that Eddie gets around all this shit behind closed doors, but then public facing, he sometimes will try and diminish me and pretend no, and pretend like he doesn't, right? And that's okay. I know I can wear it. I can cop the heat because I enjoy it. Eddie obviously shies away from copping heat because sometimes he gets a little bit fucking butthurt. But
Literally never happened.
But once you sent me that article about the structures that had allegedly been found under the Pyrenees on the Giza Plats, I was like, my boy's in Dadland. Yeah. He's in Dadland. He's officially here. Welcome to Dadland. And
why don't you give the punter and the dribbler a rundown, breakdown?
So, a report or some sort of research study came out that these group of scientists used a new novel form of radar detection, where I think they sort of pump sound waves into the earth, and you can through 3D imaging see what comes up, kind of like LiDAR, which they use on the Amazon, but not exactly the same. It's some kind of new one. Probably you might be able to find exactly the way they describe this new one. Anyway, they did it on the Giza Plateau underneath the pyramids. Giza Plats. Underneath the Pyrenees. And what it purported to show was huge structures that went 2 kilometers deep into the Earth's core and that were like spiraled columns.
I tell you what, the image that's released alongside it using the novel technology, it's a hell of a deduction to be spiraled 2 kilometer fucking pylons based on that image.
Based on that image, which was just an infrared, it just was there's something there maybe, but you can't tell me with any you can't tell anyone with, that's what it was.
That's it.
That if you're watching the YouTube, that's what it was.
And then that's what they get from it.
That they got from it.
I'm I don't know what I'm looking at though either. So maybe
when you sent that to me, and I'd already seen it, and when I saw that, and this is probably something where I don't think that you necessarily appreciate the way that I consume this sort of shit is you and Seb would probably say that I just believe that on face value and I start regurgitating that information around. I'm like, oi, did you see there's some fucking spiral staircases under the Giza Platts?
You have done that in the past.
Sort of.
You
but
told
not really.
you told me once that there's a risk.
This is incorrect.
You said there's a risk of the Earth that it'll
this is
stop
the problem.
spinning.
No. This is not. It's not what I said.
I remember when I was driving to Kangaroo Valley. I had you on the blower.
Well,
I remember it.
But I remember what that was. But that's not what it was. It was talking about the poles shifting.
Right.
That was what the whole thing.
Well,
was.
you got that wrong then, buddy. On the phone.
No, but the poles have shifted over time.
Yes, but that's what
But I
you
wasn't
said to me
saying
on
I
the phone.
believed it. I was retelling what a scientist had theorized could potentially happen. I'm not fucking saying that. Anyway, when this came out, I was like, I'm not believing that until. I'm just going to wait and see what a couple of my trusted consiglieres in a Grahamie Hancocks or a Jimmy Corsetti.
Well, I like the
might
guy
say.
that you sent through.
Jimmy Corsetti.
Jimmy
Right
Corsetti.
inside.
The great Jimmy Corsetti.
The incomparable Jimmy Corsetti. Anyway, he came out in his Twitter, if you can get it up now, and it's been debunked completely. So, well, at least in his opinion.
Oh, he's on top of what?
On top of the thing that I sent the other day.
There's another one.
Yeah, today I was looking again. In his opinion, it's been debunked because there is aquifers underneath the Giza Platts.
Oh, it's water.
And not to say there aren't structures there, but that radar they're using gets dispersed when hitting water. So you can't actually get a clear image.
So the Giza Platts has got an aquifer underwater.
Yes, but that was known.
Right. So they got excited.
It wasn't that it was unknown, it was that it was known, and that actually, if you consider that there is an aquifer under there, that the use of this radar would suggest that whilst there may be structures under there, it doesn't mean there isn't. It's just that you can't tell me based on what you're doing. As much as I really wanted to believe it.
What do you make of Graham Hancock saying that the pyramids line up with a star system or a constellation that would have been in position 10,000 years ago, not 2.5? Find that interesting from G. Hanks?
Yeah, the same with the Sphinx. The Sphinx lines up with like the god. Is it the Leo? Isn't it? Doesn't it line up with?
Which surely was a lion.
Yeah, well, that's what they're saying.
The paws are a bit of a giveaway.
Well, it's a lion until the head, and the head is significantly smaller than the body.
Well, so to scale.
And they're Gabe. What up, dog? And,
what up, dog?
And there's like certain geologists believe that there is evidence of water erosion that dates back to 10,000 years ago. Anyway, that's just some.
It's interesting. So it's been debunked the massive structure of an underground city.
But it's been debunked by someone who is often called like a fucking conspiracy theorist.
Big Jimmy Cassettes.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, I like that because people try and paper these cunts as like conspiracy theorists and they want to believe in all this fanciful bullshit. But like, there was nothing more fanciful than columns underneath the fucking pyramids that you might expect someone prone to that shit to get around. But he's like, no, it's been Jimmy Corsetti, mate, under the Giza Platts.
Interesting, though. But you're right. I mean, when you're a dad, you just fucking got a lot more time.
You got a lot more time to look into this shit. And Sebo and I were talking before. I don't know if you can hear this, Sebo. But just about being a dad now, and I know there's been a lot of dad rhetoric the last couple of weeks.
Get over it!
Get over it. Eddie's just getting into his work. But how much of a godsend rugby league is on the weekend when you've got to fucking just bunker down and do dad shit. You're like, oh yeah, it's all good, Dale. You go out and have fun with your friends. I'm going to sit here and pound rugby league while my children play with toys.
Yes, sir. I'm not even at that stage yet. No. I'm just like you. I'm not leaving the house. I need to, except to work.
Well, you're usually usually you used to just go to Eddie Simpson pig lunches.
Yeah.
You were just at a lunch every fucking
Yeah. No, I was at lunches. I was at brunches. I was at dinners. A lot of dinners. I was at the pub, living my rugby league life, right? Yep. And now I'm watching. I'm telling you, I watched 7 games. Had one on in the background. Like, I watched 7 and had one on in the background.
Yep.
That's unheard of.
It's unheard of.
I mean, they're guru areas.
Yeah, they are. That's what you want. And what I mean is, you don't want to go back because you're happy now. This is your life.
No, it matters.
And so, what you're able to do is bathe in rugby.
But it's great. But you're right. It's great that it's good as well for me because I've entered this while rugby league's hot. At the start of the season, there's no lethargy, so I'm loving it. Yes. I'm fucking loving it.
Yes. And then when summer rolls around, Eddie,
She'll be a bit older, so it'll be fine.
but what you've got as well is that's the Big Bash. And obviously Big Bash helped me with my newborn child.
Exactly, and also, but we're going to be working all summer. Got to go to Adelaide. Got to go to Perth. Got to go to Brisbane.
Yeah,
got to go to Melbourne. Like I've got so much
cricket to get through.
So much cricket to get to. Like just so if there's sponsors listening, I'm sure they are. We've got our hands up.
Yeah,
in
hands
the
up,
air.
summer.
We've got our hands up in the air. Got our hands up in the air. Happy to get involved.
Anyway, rugby league has saved many a father on a weekend, but also what you'll realise when little Suki Sue gets a little older and Ella wants to get back out there on the town, lunches, brunches, interviews by the pool.
Considered a fool because she dropped out of high school.
Stereotypes of a Suki Sue
misunderstood.
And it's
still all good.
Probably don't need to say the next line.
No.
I feel like with wags, when you go out, and this is generalising, obviously, but this is speaking from my own lived experience and, with regards to my wife, who I love dearly. And she'll hear this and probably tell me I'm a fucking idiot, and that's okay. But when they want to go out as a dad, when my wife wants to go out and do something with the girls, I'm like, absolutely. Don't call me. Don't even worry about it. You go out. I've got absolutely everything under control. I want you just going to have a good time. And what we're going to do is whatever. We're going to have some fun. There's going to be some rugby league on. But I'll be sweet. Don't you worry about me. Right? We got this under control here. I'm not here complaining about how it is the other side of the coin if you're out and they're back. But I do feel like sometimes you maybe hear out every single problem that goes on while you're out there. Whether it's that they're not eating or they're not sleeping.
Well, listen, I know what you mean, but it's just different makeup, It's just the way we are. You're prepared to just to wear the burden on your own.
But I also think the burden isn't that heavy for.
But they like sharing it.
I know.
They just that's just the way they're made up.
I think what do they say? A problem shared is a problem halved.
Yeah, that's their MO.
It's not though. No, it's exactly. Thank you, Seb. It's not. You just. Yeah, exactly. Sebo, they're just talking about how he's...
So basically what you're saying is we carry 75%.
Exactly. On the weekend.
On the weekend, don't kill us.
On the weekend, and mental load, week to week, sure you do everything.
And we're just having a bit of fun. And also...
Worried about getting in trouble again. Now, you guys are we're having fun here. We don't mean any of this.
I'd say this to the Sheilas out there, listen, the mums, right?
Who do way more than us.
Yeah, duh. And who we are indebted to,
yes,
massively. But I would say to you, maybe pick up a sport-based hobby like we've got, and it'll make the fucking weekend flight. Yeah. Get into your rugby league, get into your netball, right?
Yeah.
Get into your W League, your women's soccer, whatever.
Start playing 2020 cricket on a Sunday.
Just like Gilmore Girls. The Kardashians, they'll only get you so far.
Well, they're half an hour, 20-minute episodes.
The Kardashian comes out once a week, fucking a quarter of the year. Yeah. Rugby league, baby, you got 8 games a week.
Yeah.
33 weeks a year. Like, you got to switch on.
Yeah, you got to find things to
You got to find something else.
Find good excuses to just get away all the time, because you can do it.
Yeah.
Take up golf.
Literally. Like, just copy. We've got the blueprint over here.
And more than happy to facilitate. If you want to just get the fuck away, fine, that's all good, because I'll watch rugby league with the kids.
You should go on golf trips away. You
should go on golf trips.
You should start following a rugby league trip, team.
You follow them around.
You should go to Magic Round. You should do all that shit.
You should do that. Because that's what we're doing.
Go to Perth for the UFC.
Go to Perth for the UFC. Bledisloe.
Go to the Bled.
Go to the Bledisloe.
There's options.
The Lions tour's coming up, babes.
There's options out there.
Get a wine tour on.
There's options out there. So don't fucking pretend like there isn't.
You just got to find the right excuse.
Yep.
And we'll support.
Sorry, babe, the Swifts are playing. Go for goal. Go for goal.
Swifts round 2 against the Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
Sorry, girls and I are getting a hotel room in Melbourne because the Swifts are playing the Thunderbirds.
And we're going to play up. Fucking oath.
Go.
Don't, play up.
Well, no, play up with the girls. Don't don't cheat.
Not with the guys.
Don't fuck someone. But I'll be here I'll hold it down for you.
Yep. That's what we're saying.
And I may, me and the boys might get together and we might book a couple of nannies and then we're all going to go to one person's house and we're going to fucking rip as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we know how to do it right.
Joke's on you.
We know how to do it right.
Yep.
All the mums, when it me, Halves and Hamish, and the wags all went out for a big lunch. We just all went to Jerry's house and we just put all the children in one room.
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
we put the rugby league on and we ordered a fuckload of sushi and we put it in the room with the kids and then we just
and close the door, lock it.
we just watched rugby league.
Throw away the keys.
It was Manly beat Penrith. It was one of the great fucking weekends ever. I think
Easy.
they were all sick as well. We're just like, whatever.
Easy.
You work it out.
Easy.
Netball starts in a couple of weeks.
There you go.
So it's good timing.
Dude.
Round 1 on the 5th of April.
Not an ad either. Not an ad.
Shockingly. I interrupt this podcast transmission to tell you that Ned's is the greatest betting platform on the planet and that I had a huge win on the weekend. This is obviously an opportunity to gloat and it's an opportunity to glaze our good friends at Ned's. Now, you can follow along on our profiles, and if you did on the weekend, you would have made some money from your boy Tommy Burns. You can join the About Even group in there. The code is Dribblers. You get in. That's where the hosted pots happen. You'll find out a bit more about that during About Even, but jeepers creepers. I was on the winner in the Golden Slipper, and I also had the trifecta. Sue me, dude. Sue me. Absolutely sue me, but don't sue me. You should have followed me. Anyway, that's all possible with our good friends at Ned. So you got to get on there. If you're going to have a punt, obviously it's always responsible punters and dribblers. There's no need to make it irresponsible. But if you're on there, a responsible thing would be to also just check out the profiles and join the About Even group. Shout out to Neds. What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
Illawarra Hawks won the NBL.
Did you see Dellavedova give the MVP to the other guy?
Didn't see that.
Dellavedova got finals MVP. But everyone thought this other guy should win it. So they all booed Dellavedova, and then he went over and gave it to this other guy. But then if you actually were to watch the series as a whole, Dellavedova was the unbackable winner of the thingo, but this other guy was great in the two series-defining games.
Dellavedova drinking Coronas after they won the championship and they went to Vegas or something. Cleveland, yeah. And they were all in they were all drinking like Dom and shit, and he was drinking Coronas. I'm like, that is so pure. You remember that?
I don't remember that. But I mean, like, he's an Aussie, just fucking, he's not a flash cunt.
Nah.
I wonder if you'd feel out of place being in that sort of like fully Americanized NBA culture, just being like a dude from like
100%.
Bendigo or wherever the fuck he's from.
100% you would. Culturally, you'd be so far out of your depth.
Because like I'm talking about the NBA, it's probably more, it's a very Americanized culture, but like I'm not, I can get along with anyone, but I wouldn't be I wouldn't be able to fully immerse myself in that energy.
100, mate. It'd be different. There's American culture, then within that there's black culture. Like you're just so out of your depth. You're just a white guy who hustles the fuck out of every situation. Who's from Melbourne.
And I said Bendigo, so I was tapped in there. Where is he from? I feel like all our basketballs are from Melbourne. Is that because they're AFL?
Dellavedova.
Is it because AFL, you reckon?
Where's Andrew Bogut from?
Is he Melbourne?
Where's Andrew?
He's a Sydney King.
Where's the great Gage from?
He was a Melbourne Tiger, I believe, or a Brisbane Bullet.
Where's he from?
Gaze doesn't give me New South Wales energy, but that could be really misguided for me. I don't know. He also kind of does.
He almost gives
All
me
three from Melbourne.
Yeah.
There you go.
Including Kyrie Irving.
Who wants to play for Australia?
Yes, he does.
I don't care. I'm happy for that. Why don't we just make that happen? Where's Ben Simmons at, that weird old fuck? Is he playing?
It's not even that old.
Yeah, but like, he is. Is he playing?
Yeah, he's playing for the Nets.
Is he playing well?
He's been playing all right. He's had hot and cold games, but I think he's finally starting to realise he's not the fucking superstar he thinks he is.
But he was.
He had a great season, but then he got the fucking diva disease and thought he was all that.
Yeah. What a shame.
Israel Folau wants to play for the Wallabies in the British and Irish Lions tour. Can we get a bit of info up on that?
Mm-hmm.
When I read this, I'll be honest with you. I understand that he offended people, and I understand that certainly in our book, he said the wrong thing. We don't condone that shit. However, he was just speaking in line with his religious beliefs.
And also in line with, it's funny because when he said it, you and I were like, fuck, you're a dumb cunt, fuck you, but also if you want to come on the podcast. I think that you're allowed to change your overall opinion on something, and I feel like
Mate, in the moment, I was like, I think that language and that approach to fucking, the gay community is unacceptable. That's my fucking opinion, right?
Yes.
And that will not be changing. But like, has he paid his fucking?
Yeah, is it a ban for life for
has he
propagating what are religious beliefs that like are essentially held within the highest nation, like offices in the land?
Mate, yes, a lot of our public holidays, whether you like it or not, are religious. You swear on a Bible when you fucking when you go to court. Like, there are chapters in there that fucking profess that shit.
And again, I don't think we need to say it again, but just for fucking someone who's like, oh, you fuck, we could not disagree with it more, right? And to any of our gay punters and dribblers out there, fucking shout out to you. I think the biggest thing was like, if you're a gay kid and you see this person you look up to saying fucking if you're gay you go to hell, then absolutely like that would be a really like negative effect on you, whether it's your mental health or your vision of yourself and all that sort of stuff. Like, that's bad. I wonder though whether there's an element just in society and in life where like you're going to be confronted with things of that nature. Obviously not as a straight white man, there's going to be many of those, but you just don't know where you're necessarily going to be confronted with certain things that are going to make you have to the things you're going to have to overcome.
Mate, the reality is
he spouts that shit. What are you going to do?
Mate, the reality is that he isn't going to change his opinion on his beliefs, and I hate to tell you, but if you were to push a lot of our sports stars in this country on that topic, you'd probably get a similar answer.
Well, Manly with the fucking jersey
100%. So, like, we need to find a way to live together, so to speak. And
I wonder whether the terms of him coming back and be like, listen, dude,
you can come, but just play footy.
Say this shit.
Just play footy. Just play footy.
Yeah.
Is there some healing there? Maybe.
You are entitled to have your opinion either way. It's a dumb one that he has, IMO. But if you were able to get him back and be like, you can't say that shit anymore. You can hold whatever belief you want.
Just don't put it out publicly.
You can't be spouting that because you
can't hold digital press conferences, which is what it was, and say that shit.
Yeah, because you are representing a brand.
Yep.
Now, one of the reasons, if we can speak quite honestly here, Edward, my interest in this story is that it might make us better.
Can I be honest with you? Let's all go back. Let's all go back 12 years ago. Do you mind? Should we all go back 12 years ago?
Take me.
When the Lions last came out and Israel Folau fresh onto the scene, the rugby union scene, carving the fuck up, making a mockery of motherfuckers. They were good times, baby.
They were good times.
Curly Bill slipping over to win the first game. Like, that was devastating, but we come back, we win the second, we forced it aside. They were good memories. We didn't win the third, but at least we're in the fight. We're having a crack. Israel Folau was a huge part of that series, and everyone in world rugby's touching themselves off the back of it. Would it be a nice roundabout thing to have him back and winning games for the Wallabies? Maybe.
How's he going in Japan? Do we know that?
No, but just quickly on this, in an interview with Code Sports, he came out and expressed his desire to be selected again. But in 2022, he switched his allegiance to Tonga after being blacklisted by Rugby Australia. And then he was banned from ever playing for the Wallabies again.
Right. So
this
is much ado about
So is
nothing.
this Code Sports trying to get me to
Not
pay
necessarily
for a fucking subscription and then basically just...
So he can't ever play for the Wallabies, so what are we talking about?
Well, former All Blacks coach Ian Foster's been announced as the coach of this Trans-Tasman team. And he last week speculated about the opportunity to select some of the biggest stars playing for franchise teams in Japan. But also... Rugby Australia boss.
Sorry, I can catch you up on this. Is that there is the Rebels were meant to play the British and Irish Lions, and they've now
he's
changed that
potentially
to
play.
Well, I thought the Trans-Tasman team was it an Indigenous? Oh, I think there's a Trans-Tasman one where it's Australia, New Zealand, and then there's a Pacifica,
It's not the Rebels. What were they called? The
Melbourne Rebels.
You're talking about the Barbarians?
Barbarians.
No, the Melbourne Rebels were going to play the British and Irish Lions as a tour game.
And now that they're
gone,
right.
I think they're doing an Indigenous and Maori team together.
Right.
But then there might also be there's a Trans-Tasman team, which is just Australia and New Zealand against them.
Okay, and he.
So is that what he wants to play for? Not the Wallabies.
That's what it is. Okay.
No, I'm pretty sure Ian Foster. Oh, he's. Hang on.
No, that's what it is.
His
That's
hopes
what it
of being
is.
included in the Australian-New Zealand Invitational 15.
There you go.
Right, so he's not even trying to play for the Wallabies.
He has said he'd love to play for the Wallabies again one day.
Right, one day you're 35.
And then at the end of last year,
like,
Phil
when's that
Waugh
end?
said he was prepared to break bread with Folau.
Sorry?
Late last year, Rugby Australia boss Phil Waugh said he's prepared to break bread with Folau.
Oh,
And at the time, it was reported that Folau privately had plenty of supporters among former Wallabies players.
Oh.
So this
Dude,
is.
should we get Phil Waugh on here?
Yes. Yes, we should.
I'd like to get Phil Waugh on here.
Let's
tee that up.
I'll have a chat to a friend
Yes.
whom you.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you know.
Let's
him.
get Phil on here.
He'll make that happen.
How the fuck's it taking us that long?
Well, we're not paying attention.
What I'd like to do with Phil Waugh is get his feedback on my pilfering stance.
There's a lot I want to talk to Phil Waugh about.
But I think, we get you down on the ground, you place the ball back.
Yep.
While you're doing that, I'm going to try pilfer it off you.
Yep.
And just get him to maybe try clean me out.
No, I like that a lot. I actually like that a lot. I'm placing though, right?
No, you're placing.
Yeah, good. I'm on the ground. I'm placing.
Or maybe I'm trying to clean him out. Either way, I think I want to.
Are you trying to steal nut?
I think I want to try pilfer and Phil.
Did you
Waugh
steal nut? Were you nut stealing?
Yeah, I was. I wasn't like the best in the world, but that was my position. I'm a flanker. I stole nut. So yeah.
You're all right. Not as good as Jock, but anyway.
That hurts a lot. Suoliti back in the side this week, apparently.
Yes,
didn't
thank
name
God.
back. So I had tinfoil hat shit.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
There was what's the term I'm looking for?
Don't know.
Basically, there was an alarmist over there.
Wiramu.
Yeah.
I was also
Big alarmist guy.
Yeah,
over
I
there.
was fueling it. I don't know if I was purely fueling Wiramu's alarmism. I was also mate.
Wiramu on fucking Monday was talking like Suoliti wasn't playing in this year.
No, I was talking about not for the Waratahs, and they might be keeping him on ice for
That was
the
alarmist.
British
That's
Nice
still
Line.
alarmist.
Oh shit! Well,
Do
there's
you know
3
when
weeks
the,
in
you
a
know
row.
when the fucking do you know when the Lions tour starts in July?
Yeah.
But I'm with you. I sent a message to some friends the other day. Shout out to the teammates chat group. I had me tinfoil hat on. I said he's done his ACL. He's out for the year. They're just not letting us know.
Well, there was 3 weeks in a row where it was like, look, he's not playing this week, but he's definitely back next week. And then the next week rolls around. Look, it's not this week. It'll be next week.
It's not alarmist.
No, it's definitely alarmist. He's not admitting he's being alarmist.
Oh no, 100% being alarmist, but because
Why are you admitting being alarmist? That's
Kevin
what I
Me
wanna-
alarmist. That's a rugby union joke. You may not get it.
If you don't know who Kevin Mealamu is, you can
fuck right off. Also, shout out to, because obviously, listen, I know when your boys Tom and Eddie start talking rugby union, there's obviously the rusted on rugby league fan who is, adverse to change and maybe even scared of it, who goes, what the fuck? But what they fail to realise is that rugby union's just got hot. It just has. If you're watching the games, if you're seeing the scores, if you're seeing Suoliti down his Louis Vuitton, he's fucking hot as shit. But you just got to realise rugby union's hot again.
But it is hot again, and I'll tell you why it's hot. It's hot for a couple of reasons. It's hot because we had a beautiful spring last year.
Yep.
A beautiful spring tour. It's hot because we got the Lions this year. It's hot because the World Cup is next held in this nation in 2027. It's hot because we've got some leagues coming over. That's why it's hot. And it's hot because Super Rugby's been fucking enjoyable to watch. There's a variety of reasons why it's hot. Tom and I have always been union fans who were disgruntled with the way things are gone. I'll remind you, want to be a Wallaby, rather be a Roo. That's an old war cry for the Dubbo Roos, a union team.
Might pick up my place.
I was reared on union coming up, mate. It is what it is. But I became disenfranchised with the way things had gone. I think it's improved.
Yeah. But I just wanted to shout out...
it's not. I think it's improved. It 100%
I wanted to shout out Gus QJ2MP, which is that name rolls off the tongue.
Is this the YouTube comment?
Yeah. Need a big union segment. I'm starting to get into it.
There you go. There you go. We're going to have Phil Waugh on.
We're going to have Phil Waugh on, CEO of Rugby Australia. He's going to talk about Israel Folau and maybe Joseph Suoliti. But nothing's guaranteed with Phil Waugh, but I think obviously that would be...
All we're saying is we're trying to get Phil Waugh on. That's all.
We've had the CEO of the NRL. Now we want the CEO of the ARU, or RA, or whatever they're called now. We've also had Peter V'landys on once, which isn't irrelevant here, but it's not irrelevant.
It's relevant.
It's relevant.
It's relevant.
The Tars, 5:05 on Friday, v. the Hurricanes. One of my favourite players all time from the Hurricanes. Will, you may be able to correct me here, but I saw him in the news the other day. Ma'a Nonu. Remember Ma'a Nonu just getting into his work? He had the predator hair.
Ma'a Nonu played 12?
Yep.
13. 12.
He played 12. He probably played a bit of 13.
He played 12 and Conrad Smith was his partner.
Conrad Smith.
Fuck, that was a tidy fucking
Conrad
set of pairing,
Smith had
dude.
the morgue mouth. He had a bad case of morgue mouth, did Conrad Smith. I hope he got it fixed in his later years and his more financial years.
He had Kiwi mouth.
Yeah, he did. Well,
I'm saying that because
we're
on my
Kiwis.
father's side, there's Kiwi mouth all through that family.
yeah, right, okay.
So, like-
bad case of Kiwi mouth.
Tank water might have a bit to do with it, but there's a lot of Kiwi mouth there. It is.
No,
what it is.
listen, Conrad Smith, if we're calling it Kiwi mouth, he had a bad case of the Kiwi mouth. Can you just go back to that
My
Tars side?
dad's got Kiwi teeth.
Dude, how about
Tiny.
this Friday night, dude? You got Tars Canes into Brumbies Highlanders.
Fuck those, I just beat them.
But hey,
Just
I'm
saying.
still, it's Australian rugby here, Ed. Australian rugby. All right.
You know. I don't know if you saw the G up before the Brumbies Waratahs game last week, but they had Matt Burke, a Waratah, against Justin Harrison, a Brumby, and they were just hyping up the contest over the years. I just feel like that's where the game might have been won. Putting Matt Burke up against Justin Harrison, it's like Matt Burke
Shits all over Justin
shits
Harrison.
all over you,
And
bro.
we're a fan of Justin Harrison, who was stuck
And that's
in...
why I feel like I've got freedom to say it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that's just not a matchup you're going to win, bro.
No. It's Matt Burke.
It's Matt Burke
Matt
we're
Burke.
talking about.
Justin Harrison.
What are we
who-
talking about here, bro?
Listen, we're Stan guys, right? But you put him in fucking coach. You put him with his poor old knees around his head. He tagged us in a story of him in business recently.
Did he?
Yeah,
So he's been upgraded.
He was.
Thank God.
He was. I don't know how consistently. Put Goog Harrison in business exclusively.
Exclusively. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
was fucking
Disgraceful. They
ridiculous.
couldn't even get the fucking food cart down there. Well.
Angus Bell. I love Angus Bell. I can't see any of the names, though, because the team is so zoomed out.
Just on Ma'a Nonu quickly as well, I'm pretty sure he's still playing in Toulon at
Really?
age 42.
Fuck off, is he?
Jesus.
Yeah.
Ben Grant. I've never seen Ben Grant before, and that's just me. Is Ben Grant there all the time, Will?
Nah.
Okay, so Ben Grant is new.
Taniela Tupou.
Tell you who's a good style of a bloke, dude? Charlie Gamble.
Gamble, yeah, I was about to
Good
say.
style. Look at that guy.
Shout out to
7
him
as
for
well. Can
50th
pilfer a
match.
ball. Huh?
Shout out to him for his 50th match on the weekend as well.
This
Nice.
weekend?
Last weekend against the Brumbies.
Look at that style of a bloke. Look at old Charlie Gamble responsibly.
Rob Leota.
Teddy Wilson at
Big
9.
Teddy Wilson.
Is Teddy Wilson new to the party?
Well, Jake Gordon's injured, so we're kind of going through the stocks, and I think you keep Jack Grant of
Hey.
Motorino fame coming
Where's
off the bench.
Lawson Creighton.
where's Kellaway?
I
there
guess
he is.
he's injured.
No, he's not. There he's not.
Where's Kellaway?
He must be injured. That's why Jaw goes at fullback.
Oh,
right.
dude.
Shout out to Andrew Kellaway.
Shout out to, firstly, Lawson Creighton or Crichton for
Crichton.
for a rugby union name of note. Archie Saunders, asterisk, is that a debut?
That would be a debut.
Welcome Archie Saunders to the...
Joey Walton's got a head for rugby union.
oh, my God, Joey Walton's...
Well, he's got a head for combat fucking sport.
yeah, no, he does. He's the MMA face.
Yeah.
He's got a serious case of the MMA face. Suoliti with Louis Vuitton face.
Like, fuck, mate, is he looking more gorgeous than ever? He looks
Yeah.
oiled up in that photo.
He does. He looks like he's been... there's a coconut oil on the face, just like massaged in.
Well, I mean, you got to stay hot though, right?
You do.
You reckon he's looked into this like salmon sperm, salmon facial?
Salmon
You heard about
cum.
that? Salmon cum? Injected into the face?
Can we look into that?
It's called a salmon facial.
Can we... Top
Do you know who got it? Ella was watching Denise Richards'
Yep.
reality TV
Former
show.
Bond girl.
Former Bond girl, former, I would say, hottest chick on the planet.
Former Wild Things actress. Yeah.
Like, insane. She was talking about the salmon facial, where you get salmon cum injected into your face.
Aaron Mullen, I think, has done it.
There you go.
Yeah, it can stimulate the production of new blood vessels, more collagen, and
Well,
keratin.
Should we get
Tobler-
should we get a
Something.
salmon?
I wouldn't mind getting some salmon cum in the mush. Like, we're getting on, but I also wouldn't mind giving it to someone who's makeover.
Oh.
That's actually better. That's way better. No, it's injected in. It's not wipe. You don't wipe it.
You don't wipe cum.
No, I know.
Not
I'm
like what
just
you're used to,
thinking,
buddy.
I've got some red dots.
No, it's injected into your cheeks, Tom.
You don't rub it in, mate.
Bit of collagen could be good.
Well, it's calm, but anyway.
Well, no, yeah, stimulating the collagen.
No, it's calm, dude. It's
semen.
Make no mistake,
Semen.
it's
Max
calm.
Jorgensen can play rugby league, rugby union.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
Chipping, chasing.
He was
chasing,
terrific
chipping.
last week.
Yeah, he was. I'm pumped about that Friday night fixture because Dad and that night in. And
Oh, it's a
that.
dad night. In fact, so Saturday and Sunday. Well, not Sunday. Well, yeah, Sunday.
It is, but we'll fucking.
Because there's a couple of things on next week.
Is there?
Next week,
Oh shit!
there's two
heaps.
things on.
No, then
Three
there's
things on.
There's 3 things on.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
What's Sunday again?
Manly, Storm, Battle of Brookie.
Yeah. I knew there was.
Gotta
something.
go.
Yeah, no, gotta go.
Big.
Gotta go.
Gotta go.
Daylight savings finish next weekend.
Next Saturday.
I'm looking forward to it, dude. Fuck this heat. I'm done. I know it doesn't suddenly get cold.
doesn't
No,
change
but it's the
jack
start
shit.
of it.
Yeah.
It's the start of it. You know what I'm saying?
I tell you what, it's dark in the mornings now. If you're a fucking early bird like I am,
Well, me, I go and swim.
Well,
mate. I
not
swim
really.
in the dark.
I'll
Mate.
be getting up like 7:30.
Me and Harvey swim in the dark. 5:30, 5:40.
Who's better at swimming?
Harvey. What do you mean who? He's fucking. He's
Why
like.
is that a weird question?
He's like.
I'm sorry I didn't know Ho was a great swimmer.
Well, no, because he's 6'5" and slender as fuck. My mother-in-law has.
yeah, but natural buoyancy in that.
Yeah, I got buoyancy, but like, there's also like a natural fitness. He runs like 20 Ks a day. Sorry, like he just runs 20 Ks.
Does he run to work and shit?
He just can run. But
What's his maritime?
Don't know. He hasn't. Oh, he did do one actually, 3 something.
Yeah, right. So he's an arsey cunt.
My mother-in-law, I think, has hidden my dick stickers. So when we go, the last couple of times we've been swimming in the mornings, I've been swimming in Boardies, and I just look like the biggest cuck.
God, that's just about perception, isn't it? It's about look.
No, I'm telling
He's
you,
so
me
image
and
conscious.
him are dick sticker
He's
guys.
so image conscious, mate.
Clearly I'm not. Me and him are dick sticker guys, and we talk about it all the time. And
You've only got one pair of dickies?
yeah.
Jeez, that's a sad state of affairs.
And they're actually a bit fucking. I could probably do a bigger pair.
What about that Manly pair we got given? I rock mine all the time.
When the fuck did we get given a Manly pair?
When we hosted the Sloppy Rig Awards.
Which I probably could have competed in. Mate, I don't even remember getting any.
Yeah, we did.
I've got some fucking. These are actually too tight. It's probably a good excuse to get some more. Anyway, my mother-in-law has fucking done something with them, and then the last couple of
Budgie
times,
smuggler, get our boys some.
Get me some extra large fucking Manly Seagulls budgies, so I can swim laps. Because Harvey swims in his Cowboys.
Yeah, well, you need to compete.
I need to compete.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What boardies you wearing?
Fucking whatever is there. I just grab some in the morning. I'm going.
You're doing laps in boardies.
Yep.
Jesus.
Well, the last 2 times I have, yeah, it's shameful.
That's outrageous.
You feel quite free swimming in dickies. I'm a Boardies at the beach guy, right? But then you get to just
Well,
when
I should hope so.
But like when you're, yeah, well, that's what are you saying? I shouldn't be in dickies at the beach.
It's just a bit much. There's kids around.
It's fair. No, it is fair.
You know
Like,
what I
it
mean?
is.
You got to be a certain style of a bloke, dude.
to be able to pull. Harvey can pull it off. Harvey will wear dickies at the
yeah,
beach. It's aesthetically pleasing and it's inoffensive.
Yeah.
It's more about it's not about being aesthetically pleasing. It's about not being offensive.
It's been inoffensive.
And I would be offensive in dickies at the beach, but in the fucking just swimming laps, dude. There's a freedom. There's a freedom, buddy. You ever come down for a swim?
Not right now.
No.
I will eventually, but not right.
You reckon you'll
now.
come down for a couple laps?
Why not?
Well, because you can't swim on it.
Yeah, but there's only one way to get better, bro.
You can't go over it. You can't go under it. You got to go through it.
Gotta go through it. Gotta go through it. And when in trouble, just breaststroke.
Yep. That'd be embarrassing.
What's what got me to district, mate?
Yeah, but there are like dead guys that are basically swimming in the pool there, like old
If things
dead
get
men.
desperate, breaststroke.
But you shouldn't be doing breaststroke. I'm saying you get down there at the hours we're doing it. There are like old men who may as well be dead who are swimming in there.
Whatever. You know?
You can't be giving up.
Yeah, but I'm saying if I'm fucking struggling, you've got the breasty there.
You may. It's
Anyway.
it's almost the board shorts of strokes. We are brought to you, punters and dribblers, by our good friends at Good Day. We really appreciate those guys over at Good Day and the support they give to us. Fuck, the sign looked good at Brookvale Oval yesterday, didn't it? BeGoodHealth.com.au is where you go. The code is Dribbler. That gets you 10% off. A subscription gets you 20% off. But let me just read you a review off the rip. These can all be found at BeGoodHealth.com.au as well, these reviews. 5 stars. Better than expected. That's a backhanded compliment if ever I've heard one. After a word-of-mouth review from a random, I purchased Good Day's Daily Multivitamin. Delivery was prompt, 2 days. And the results are what I can only describe as amazing. I'm 58. And I play golf, gym 3 times a week, and work long hours in construction. My energy levels are heaps better, and my mental clarity has improved immensely. I only bought 1 box to try it out, and after 2 sachets, I subscribed. Excellent product. We don't buy these reviews, punters and dribblers. We don't buy them. These are people that offer it up because they like the product and they get real benefits from it. It's the least you can fucking do. If you feel like doing anything, Jesus Christ, a couple of vitamins wouldn't kill you. BeGoodHealth.com.au, code is dribblers. Subscribe for 20% off. How you doing there, Ed? You all right?
Yeah, mate.
How you travelling?
Travelling pretty well, mate.
Yeah, you good? Okay. Let's dribble.
Oi, lads. Just a bit of a hypothetical here. So, DCE leaving, big news, big sad news. And I know you were saying they wanted to offer, you were saying they should offer some of the club to them. Now, let's say Manly gives you a ring. They say, hey, lads, we had a bit of the club that we were wanting to give you, but we want to keep DCE, so we're thinking, and we wanted to get your opinion first, we want to give it to him. Are you okay with that? Are you taking this to keep DCE at the club, or are you selfishly saying, no, we want the club ourselves because that's our dream? Just wanted to hear your thoughts. Cheers. Keep on dribbling on. Love your work.
So wait, is he saying we own the club?
No,
we own a piece of the club?
So we were offered a piece of the club. Would we give it to Cherry Evans?
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Not even a chance. He's 37.
Well, he's 37 next year, and he's made it abundantly clear that he doesn't want to stay. We've also, earlier in the podcast, gone over the fact that we're going to win the comp this year, and then we move on to bigger, not better things, but like other things.
Listen, I could use an old aviation adage to help maybe properly sort of paint a picture of how you and I might approach the situation, and that is to fit your own mask before that of the people around you. And whilst I would like DCE to have a mask on, if I'm not wearing a mask, how am I going to breathe?
Yeah, I'm not giving that to anyone. Sorry,
no, that's mine. Club's mine.
Something interesting I was reading earlier, Dean Ritchie came out and said that Nick Politis is very close to Joe Weeby, who is Cherry Evans' agent, but also Teddy and Reece Robson's agent.
Yes.
Yep. Brent Reed said that to us.
He did.
Maybe 25 minutes, an hour ago.
The Robson one as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Thought so. Just thought I'd reiterate that for anyone that might have missed. Gossip Guys with Brent Reed. Rewind and check it out if you might have missed it like I did.
Nice, Tom.
Good stuff, mate.
Yeah, boys, it's the DeCock dribbler of shit last name fame. I'm just calling in reference to the whole Cherry Evans news that has just come out, him leaving Manly and stuff. And it casted my mind back to November last year, which is obviously around the time he was off contract. I live in North Brisbane, in North Lakes, and me and my fiance spotted him at the North Lakes Costco, which is essentially right next to Redcliffe. He was playing with a Karcher high-pressure hose that was out on display, and he was pretending to spray his kids with it. Make of that what you will. He will be going to the Dolphins. Sorry, boys. Bye.
Shit.
There's a lot to that.
There's a lot to that. A Karcher high-pressure hose. So that's a gurney, right?
Oh, I've got a Karcher.
Do you?
Yep.
I don't have a gurney.
I've got one.
I mean, how is it that I'm the dad, 3-time deal for the year, and I don't have a gurney?
I've got one.
Yeah,
I've
that's
got one.
fucking bullshit.
It's in me shed.
Is it in your shed?
Yeah.
I can't wait to have a shed, bro.
It's not much of a shed, but it's something.
No, it doesn't matter. Don't sell a shed short. A shed is a shed.
It's where I got my things out there. You know what I mean? Got me Karcher out there.
We've been doing a bit of just sort of like very loose, light, looking into like where we're moving. And when I'm looking at places, I'm looking at sheds, and I'm like, oh, fuck yeah.
Any sheds?
Yeah, bro. I saw a place with a nice backyard yesterday. I was like, I could put a mower in that cunt. I could store a mower in that shed.
You need to store mowers.
Get myself a high-pressure hose, gurney some shit.
You need to have a gurney.
I don't know if that means he's going to the Dolphins, though. I think the Dolphins would be such a dumb fucking place to go.
I don't think he's leaving Sydney again, go back to our scope
Go
conversation.
back to our scope chat, but why would he leave? The Dolphins. But thank you for your dribble. Good to have the. I'm loving having the dribbles.
I'm liking that Karcher chat. That was funny.
Yeah, that was good. Dribble, the number, remember the number. If it's on YouTube, Tobler, flash the number up for the people at home, but the number is in the bio.
Correct.
Boys, what's going on at our club? I think, we're seeing Shane Keefe going through a few different, revenue streams, one being the wine game, one being the vitamin game. I think it's time for now Shane Keefe to get into the mediation game. I think we need the boys, we need Tom and Eddie sitting down in between Tony and Siebes in the middle with
Just
Daly at the
mediating.
other end. A bit like that Wedding Crashers scene, Let's just bring a bit of, humour to the table. What's going on at our club? Boys, we're sending out an SOS for the Manly fans. Please, sort it out.
How do you think you start a mediation between the club and Chairs? Like, what do you, to get everyone in the mood, like, what do we need to do to get the people in the mood to mediate? Is this like a post-nut clarity thing? Is it just music? Do we just get some tunes going? Is it
It's not post-nut clarity. You need to get him to agree to something while he's climaxing.
Okay, right. So you actually don't want him to be clear. You want someone to get him to the point of completion.
Well, if I'm edging, right,
you'll do anything.
you do anything. Mate, there's a lot you'll do. You know what I mean?
Mate, if you're
you'll give up your yo-go mix if you're edging.
Yeah, and that says a lot. That's about as fucking you hold nothing higher than that.
Yeah, you go, here it is.
So we.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Okay, well, so then who are we trying to get to agree to something here? Both of them.
Both of them.
So we need them both. We need all parties to be edging.
So on YouTube, my hands are spread far apart.
Yeah,
and we need to bring them in.
So you're edging them closer and closer and closer and
to each other.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's good. Okay, that's a start.
That makes sense.
G'day, boys. It's Rudolph Dribbler here. Going to say, what do you guys reckon about a New Zealand state of origin where you get North Island versus South Island? I'd have thought you guys would be the authority figures, the key people of influence in the industry to ask, since you are proud Kiwimen.
In the industry.
And I wanted to hear your thoughts. Cheers, boys.
We're South Island, man.
Listen, we're South Island, but we're key industry stakeholders, and this is a great point he makes. The Rudolph Dribbler just I don't understand why it isn't already happening. Can I be honest?
Well, that's Team 20.
Origin. We're talking Origin here. North Island, South Island, Rugby League Origin. That's all we're saying.
What I'm saying is a more achievable way to get that going. Just have a South Island team.
Do you need that? I'm not saying you don't have one, but do you need that to start the concept? There'd be many players who are from all over New Zealand. It's not like it's exclusively a North Island country.
But is a lot of their talent North Island? Is all the South Island play union?
Surely not.
I don't know.
I would imagine it's not big enough, that place. New Zealand's not big enough, dude. It's not big enough. You could fit the whole fucking country in this room. I would love to see that. Maybe it's something they just start themselves, though. And what I mean by that is build it and they will come. You know what the Immortals was? The Immortals was a fucking idea that Rugby League Week started, and then the NRL was like, hey, kind of like that, let us have it.
Yeah.
Like, give it here.
Give it here.
So, if they start their own origin, NRL will eventually come along.
But what I like is, just as something you can also do on the side, is bring the 20th team in from the South Island.
No, I like that.
That makes a heap of sense.
Call them the Kioras.
Yeah. From Christchurch.
Yeah, Christchurch Kioras.
There you go. Done.
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
Hey guys, I've been waiting to say this for a while, but I needed Eddie to be a DILF, so I think now is pretty appropriate. I have my second on the way, and one of my best mates has 2 kids. Now, we've both agreed that our dicks have become sadder now that we're dads. So we just call it dad dick. It's just like a disease. You just get that as soon as you become a DILF, you get a dad dick. It gets sadder, saggier. It just doesn't look happy anymore. So I think I just need to ask Eddie, have you noticed your dick changing? Yeah, Let me know what you think.
That's a good question. I haven't had a proper look. Let me come back to you.
Can I have a look too?
Yeah, sure.
Well, don't make it sound like I'm asking something too much. We're trying to work out whether it's been sad.
Has yours got sadder?
No, but it hasn't got happier either. And that's probably the main point. I think with dad dick, I've always heard that dad dick's meant to make your dick bigger. I'm happy to report from the front lines that is not the case.
How do you? But if it was growing slowly over time, you wouldn't have noticed.
That's a good point. Much like the continental drift.
You know, like what are we moving? Like a 7 centimeters a year or something?
Yeah.
You can't notice it, but it's happening.
But it is happening. And obviously to scale, from a penis perspective, it would be significantly smaller. So maybe that is the case. Maybe it is still growing. I just can't notice it. But if there is a condition called dad dick, I just would assume that it's happening quicker than continental drift.
But but if your dick grew another centimetre over 4 years, you wouldn't notice.
You don't reckon?
No.
I reckon I would. After 4 years, I go, Jesus Christ, what's going on here?
You reckon you'd notice a centimetre over 4 years?
Well, put it this way, and this is kind of gross, but just put it this way. It's not an ideal comparison, right? But it is a comparison. Your children grow significantly over years, and you go, fuck, you look different to when you did when you were 3.
Yeah. But that's a lot bigger.
Comparatively, is this to scale? Is this a to scale thing? I don't know.
We use a lot of scale off the back of my intro.
I can't help it.
No,
Are you criticising me for using your methodology?
No, I like it. I'm just saying I don't reckon you'd notice a centimetre. That's what I'm saying.
Over 4 years.
25 mil a year.
Yeah, maybe not.
It's not much.
It's not much at all. A centimetre's not much at all, really, is it?
25 mil, 2.5 cents.
Thanks for the call, mate.
Hello, boys. Marty here, Manly dribbler. With the explosion of DILF culture this season and the stellar performance of Ruben Garrick after the birth of his child on the weekend, should the Manly Sea Eagles look to implement some kind of routing schedule for 2025 to ensure a rotating door of newly born children and then the subsequent stellar performances by Manly players in what looks to be a post-DCE world next year? The club could get right behind it and look to add a wing onto the Centre of Excellence with some honeymoon-style suites with vibrating beds to really emphasise and increase the mood, and even look at potentially putting in some birthing suites to ensure they can keep the entire experience in-house at Manly. Anyway, have a think.
Mate, I don't mind it. I mean, when we went out there the other day, they had the Temper mattress, didn't they? Which are vibrating beds, which
they did.
Can only aid in the.
And you can put your legs up.
You can put your legs up. You can get fucking pounded as much as you want. The birthing suite's a touch of class. Ruben can go from the birthing suite straight out to the fucking field, play a great game of rugby league, and then go back up.
Yeah, no, I like it. It wouldn't be used that often, but it's a great idea.
You would probably the scheduling would be difficult, but
just fucking
fucking rip.
Yeah,
just rip.
Yeah,
worth thinking about.
100%.
Last one.
Boys, just listening to the most recent podcast and the string racing ad. Tom, your nay is way too fucking good. Tell me that you are not playing horses with all 3 girls. Because you've been practicing that nay. And I won't believe you if you say you're not.
I don't even remember how I did it. Is that a good night?
That's good.
Is that a good one?
Yeah, it's good.
Well, it's probably worth reminding, and we've already mentioned it earlier in the podcast, but 19th of April, we will be neighing our way at the All-Age Stakes at Randwick.
Yeah. Like, get your shit together, get your boys together, get your tickets. They're in the bio of our Instagram, they're in the show notes, they're in the YouTube notes. Like, get it together.
But honestly, one of the great days, just in terms of, I love the races generally. I loved going and doing the dogs that we did.
Yep.
But I like, on a smaller scale, if we can go micro scale here, I love nothing more than sitting next to me old mate Eddie Simpson and just having a fucking good, honest rugby league crack at the ponies, right?
Yeah. Well, a flatter with a capital F.
But the idea of doing that with a bunch of dribblers and, like, we're all going like, oi, what are we on? Let's all get on this. And then just whipping them home.
Yeah.
Not to mention ticket price including booze and food for the whole day. Like, I don't know how you make that any better. So the ticket links, as we said, in all of the bios and all of the thingos. But it's a 4 Pines Hello Sport Dribblers Day Out.
Get around it.
It's a day out for the Dribblers.
Come no.
Come. That was worse.
That was shit.
That was worse, that one.
That was shit.
And I felt it as soon as I started.
No, it was shit.
No, fuck me up, dude.
Right, I see you later.
Okay, ciao.
Bye.
Could you two just not talk anymore?